Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to the 3POA podcast, episode 68. I'm your host, Ryan, also known as LaserPants. I am joined, as always, by my good friend and yours, the man behind Action Force and the CEO of Valaverse, Bobby Vala. What is going on, Bobby?
When someone hasn't been on for 4 weeks, can you say that joined as always? I don't think you can say that.
It's as always because this is the 3POA proper. This is episode 68.
Okay, fair point.
Occasionally I'll do a 3POA with just like Chad and Kato. Done that a few times.
And they're never as good.
Never, no.
I mean, Chad makes us lose subs.
He does, yeah. It's because of his face.
Oh. I'm sorry, Chad. Chad, I wasn't ignoring you. Chad texted me today. I felt bad. I was doing yard work all day and I wasn't ignoring you, buddy. I was just waiting to send you like a really heartfelt response.
Well, you had to catch up on a lot of yard work because you were gone in China.
I was gone in China.
We're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Sure.
But first, I want to get right to our guests. I don't want to waste any time because the DFW G.I. Joe and action figure show is coming up in 4 weeks. 4 short weeks. It's gone by so fast. But please, everyone, 3POA members, give a round of applause for Greg Brown, showrunner of the DFW G.I. Joe and action figure show. Hello, Greg. Welcome to the 3POA podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. Nice to talk to you face-to-face finally. We've talked a little bit in DMs and interacted on Facebook, but nice to meet you face-to-face, man.
Same here. Appreciate it.
Right on. So you're running this show, the G.I. Joe and action figure show in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Right.
I just want to kind of cut to it. Like, how did you get involved with this show? Did you originate it? How long have you been doing it?
Well, originally the show back in the late 90s, it was called the Great Texas G.I. Joe Show. And we used to have it at Arlington Convention Center, which is in another kind of suburb of the DFW area. Mm-hmm. And it was myself and a gentleman out of Houston named Tony Tillman. And then we made it a little bit larger, made it the Great Texas G.I. Joe and Action Figure Expo. And then Tony decided to step away from it. And then the DFW G.I. Joe Collectors Club stepped in. And I was kind of on an advisory capacity with them, helping them with the show. And they started it out, I think the very next year after we did it in Arlington, they took it over. They started it at a church. They started small. Oh. And then we migrated over to the Grapevine Convention Center, which we've had ever since. And this year, like I was telling you earlier, this will be our last year at the Grapevine Convention Center. So I've been on an advisory capacity. I left for a little bit to go do a show up in Pennsylvania. Then I came back and basically said, "Hey, listen, let's get our focus here." And because we were moving in a direction where we started having some guests. Our first guest we ever had was Buzz Dixon. He was one of the writers for the cartoon series. And then we brought in Larry Hammond, and we brought in Ron Ron Rudat and his wife Jenny. I always have to put them together because they're a package deal. And this year, I was talking to the guys, and I was like, man, it's the 6th anniversary. Let's go big or go home. And so that's the reason why we started making phone calls out to. I was already friends with Daryl DePriest for many years. Daryl's a big G.I. Joe fan, 12-inch G.I. Joe fan. And then I'm friends with Steve Stovall, who's a big G.I. Joe, Super Joe fan. And then, I already knew Ron, I knew Larry Selman. He's worked with me on some projects. Larry Selman does the artwork. He did the artwork for the classic collection. So we just started getting these people in, and because it's like, you only get a 60th anniversary once. So we said, let's do it Texas style. Let's go big, baby,
Yeah. Yeah. From very humble roots at a church show and now to a convention center. And next year you're going even bigger.
Right. Yeah. Next year we're going to the DFW airport in Marriott. Every year we've kind of looked at different locations, but none of them really met really good. These guys really rolled out the red carpet for us. And it's, I've always wanted to have a show. I've always wanted the shows to be at a hotel with the show in the hotel and the breakout rooms for workshops and such. Because I was always a big fan of Brian Savage's shows because I went to the Joe Cons all the time and I liked that model. Mm-hmm. And so next year we're moving to that. We have, I don't necessarily believe in bigger is better. I believe in, quality over quantity. So we want to have a good showroom, but then we want to have some nice breakaway rooms for contests, for workshops, for panels and stuff like that. So that's the direction that we're moving towards.
So being that it's a G.I. Joe show, I take it you grew up a big fan. What was your era of G.I. Joe growing up?
I had the best of both worlds, man. I was born in 71. So, I grew up with Adventure Team, and then I got into Super Joe. And then, of course, everybody, Star Wars came out in 77, so I was collecting Star Wars. And then, 82 came around, man. I remember first figure I ever got, I got Stalker. My cousin bought me Stalker. My older cousin bought me Stalker. And then I went and saw E.T. that same day. So, and then I collected Real American Hero until 90, and then I went to college, and then got a little distracted with women and right. Something of the alcoholic persuasion, not gonna lie. And then Hall of Fame came back out, so I kind of got rekindled into that around 93, 94, and then got into that a little bit, and then I decided let's go back into vintage. Never sold my Real American Hero stuff. I still got 90% of my stuff from that, with the exception of my flag. I sold my flag, but I had to pay a few bills. But so am I an expert in Real American Hero like some of these guys that come to the shows? No, but I mean, I grew up with them. I have all 155 issues of G.I. Joe Real American Hero from Marvel. I'm more of a Marvel fan than I am of a Sunbow cartoon fan. I'm more shooting up than the red blue lasers. So apologies to anybody who I just offended. So
it's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah.
The show is taking place June 21st through the 22nd and 23rd rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's $10 to get in, because that seems unbelievably inexpensive.
And what's funny is it started out, it was $5.
Oh.
And then we raised it. And then, that was a few years back. Until, it's $10 to get in for general admission. And then we started incorporating Commander's packages, and the Commander's package is $50. And that's a 3-day pass, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to come in. Early bird for both Saturday and Sunday. Then it gets you the T-shirt, and we have a really cool T-shirt that kind of encompasses the 1960s G.I. Joe and the 1980s G.I. Joe. And then that also gives that person an opportunity to go to the meet and greet with, like Ron Rudat and Dave Kunitz and Greg Bernson and all those guys Friday night at the hotel. So, for $50, man, it's a pretty good package. And we try to keep that in mind because, times are tough, man. The economy is still kind of wonky. Mm-hmm. So we want to try to keep it. And so, it helps pay for the T-shirts. All the guys, Vinny and all those other guys have been very accommodating. We're like, hey, do you mind doing a mixer? And they're like, hey, man, that's totally cool, you know. So that's why we're doing the Commanders package. Early bird packages, I think, for Saturday is like $15, and then Friday night is the Friday night preview. It's only 2 hours. It's from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And that's really for the people that want to get in and get the really good deals. So the celebrities won't be there. None of the guests will be there. We won't be doing any panels that day. But that's for those people that just like, you know, they want to get in and find some really good deals. They're paying a premium. But even though we give them $20, they can come back Saturday for general admission and get back in and do some more shopping and go to the panels and workshops. So
cool. You know, Bobby, this one's for you. I got a lot of questions about Friday preview night.
Yeah.
Will Valaverse be there? Will he have the Bone Collector version 2 exclusive? They want to know.
If the show is open, we are there and we are selling, baby.
There we go.
So,
awesome. So yes, Friday preview night, Valaverse booth will be open. Bone Collector version 2 and other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, will be for sale on Friday night. Can't wait, man. All right, so let's get into Greg. Let's get into some of your guests and your vendor list. I mean, first, right off the bat, Larry Hama, right? GI Joe royalty here.
Yeah, Larry's really cool. We've had him before. I've seen him over in Atlanta when I've done Joanna to Atlanta. Really laid back guy. It was really funny. The first time I had lunch with the guy or dinner with the guy, I was really trying to figure out what I was going to talk to him about. Because I was like, well, I want to be a geek and ask him, you know, hey man, what was your inspiration for issue number 21, Silent Interlude? You know. So we're just real casual with each other, and I figured out that he is a model collector, model builder, and he was big into a line called Machine and Krieger. And which I also collected at the time, so we hit it off after that. So really nice guy, really informative. So.
Cool. So we got him coming. He'll be there Saturday and Sunday, correct? Signing.
All the guests will be there Saturday and Sunday. They'll either be at their tables signing autographs, signing prints, signing boxes, whatever you bring to them. Larry Hama and Ron are about the only two that I know that will be charging for different things. Everybody else is kind of new territory for them. You know, like Vinny and Greg and Frank and all those guys, it's kind of new for them. But the reason we have all of them coming in, it's not so much for the autographs and such, it's for the panels, because we're doing panels on Saturday and Sunday. You know, that we'll be doing a Real American Hero panel on both days. We'll be doing an Adventure Team panel on both days, Super Joe panel on one day, Bobby's panel on Sunday, and then we're doing a 3D printing panel, and there's something else I'm probably missing. Hall of Fame Plastic Collection and Timeless, which involves Kurt Groen and some of those guys near the end.
Cool. You got Vinny D'Aliva?
D'Aliva, yeah.
Vice President of Marketing I mean, I guess at Hasbro at some point.
Yeah. He's an interesting guy in the meetings I've been in with him. He's kind of I want to say he's a class clown, but he's the one who volunteered. He didn't want to be on the panel. He wanted to be in the audience heckling all the guys up on stage. So it's going to be interesting to see what he has to say.
Right on. Kurt Groen.
I've only met Kurt a couple of times. So he's going to be kind of presenting this stuff and talking about the stuff that was obviously near to the end of the G.I. Joe line. And then kind of continuing on into when Kenner was kind of getting involved in that as well. So that's the thing that when I was working with Dan Klingensmith on this, we wanted to kind of get a broad spectrum of the people that worked on the G.I. Joe line. So that's the reason why we have, you know, Ron Rudat near the beginning and then Kurt Groen near the end.
Cool. Yeah, he was he was on the G.I. Joe design team in January 1989, right?
Yeah.
It says here. Cool.
I have an awesome original painting that Kurt did.
What was that, Bobby? I'm sorry, I cut out.
Is that echo coming? Whose end is that echo coming on?
I don't know. I'm hearing echo on my side.
You are?
Yeah.
It's coming from you then.
Okay.
Let me just.
Like I was hearing it on my when I was talking too.
Is the echo gone now? I don't hear it.
Nope, I can hear it.
Bobby, I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk.
All right. I was telling Ryan. Yeah, I still get it on my end.
Yeah, I don't have any echo. I don't know. How bad is it? You're muted, Bobby.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't hear it from you. I hear it from me, and I hear it from Greg. So maybe it's my end.
Okay, let me. They said that it came when I opened that window. So let me stop this.
Is it still going on? Nope. Yeah, I don't have it now.
It's
Do
gone.
you have it for me?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay.
Yeah, something with that with the window.
Gotcha.
Huh.
Yeah, I was saying I have an original Kurt Groen painting. I have a file card piece of artwork that he did that got thrown in a dumpster and then got saved, and it's from the 93 mail away Deep Six. And I had no idea who had done it for years, and then Dan invited me to this dinner where all the the creatives were going to, and I went and I showed Kurt the picture of it. I said, "Did you do this one?" He said, "Yeah, I remember that one." He was able to tell me this whole story about it. He was a really cool guy.
Cool. Then we got David Kunitz.
Yep, Dave. Super cool guy, responsible for a lot of designs. And he's going to be the guy running the show pretty much on Saturday night. We're going to be doing a kind of a build a vehicle workshop with Dave and with Greg Bernstein, who also had a lot of vehicles underneath his belt, namely the USS Flag was his baby. And then with Frank Kornos, who actually, oddly enough, lives here in Texas. And Kurt Bazigian wanted to be part of that, even though he wasn't a designer. I think he just wants to be in that. So it's a pay-per-view only. It's a paid admission because we can only have spots for 30 people.
Gotcha.
And basically that was Dave's idea, because he wanted to have 10 people per designer, because they're going to be showing the tricks of the trade of when they were designing stuff, and
like
then they're going to come up. Yeah. Well,
Dave,
we have to tell people, yeah, don't bring a freaking Defiant. We don't have enough room. And even though Greg Bernstein was a little peeved about that, but so yeah, they're going to be showing that, and they're going to be working mano a mano with these 10 guys. That'll be kind of their team. And we're going to be providing a lot of these tools. Dave gave me a list of the hand tools that we'll need, and then we'll have workstations with like Dremels and stuff. People won't be able to finish their stuff because Dave was like, he's like, hey, I want you to get a paint booth so we can paint the vehicles. And I'm like, Dave, we're going to be in a hotel room, man. In a hotel, conference room. We can't be spray painting these things. So it's something we're trying out. A lot of people have done, working with figures and stuff like that. But since we have 3 guys that are just like we're very big into the vehicle design. So that's why we're encouraging people, bring your vehicle, bring some parts that you want to bring. We'll be providing the tools. We'll be providing the dowel rods and other accessories. Dave told me, hey, bring model kits. So I'll be bringing some, some tank model kits and battleship model kits and whatever there is, because I've only talked to Dave in Zoom meetings, but the guy knows his stuff. Obviously, he worked for Hasbro,
sure,
and worked with G.I. Joe and designed something. He was the one who had the Defiant. He had a Triple T. God, the list goes on and on. So he's just going to be sharing his wisdom. So we got some people that are like hardcore vehicle customizers. That's why they're coming. And again, we're trying to keep the price down. Though the admission is only $50 to get in for that event. And we're going to start on it at Saturday. I think we're starting at 8 or 8:30, and then it just goes on to when everybody's just beat ass tired. We don't have an end to that one. So it's cool. Basically, I guess, when Dave, Frank, and Greg just collapse. So
Suka in the chat says someone should live stream that build a vehicle group. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, this is what we're going to do. Because we've had a ton of people asking us the questions about not only that, but also for the panels and and for the 3D workshops and stuff like that. We are going to record everything. We have a team of people that will be there reporting on the showroom floor. They'll be recording every single workshop, every single panel, and such like that, and as well as the Saturday night panel. But the thing is, we're not going to post those until later on. We're going to post it on the DFW GI Joe Show website, so people can watch them on the website later. And then Dan's probably going to be sharing it on his website later as well. But to do live stream was going to be a little bit complicated. And so we wanted to make sure that we got everything recorded and then we can get it edited and post and stuff like that. So everything will be recorded. Everything will be broadcast, but it'll be at a later time.
And there is a link to your website in the description below if anyone would like to check this out. You got Greg Bernstead, designer on the USS Flag, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
I might have to come crash that build. DK was my boss in my first internship.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was running the boys team when I was there for my first internship.
Yeah, it says he was responsible for the return of 3 3/4 Joes as a TRU exclusive.
Yeah,
really?
in the early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see the cross pollination that these guys had in the different realms. We learned that Ron Rudat actually worked on some Adventure Team stuff back in the 70s. And in fact, he did some of the artwork for the GI Joe. It's that submarine, Seawolf, I think is what it was called. And Steve Stovall, my friend, had found the mini comic, and it actually had Ron's signature on the artwork. And so we were all so proud. We're all like geeking out and everything because the only person who's really found any information on the Adventure Team designers was Daryl DePriest and Todd Pleasant. So to have Rudat, being on in the same group. So we presented him the mini comic, all proud. And Rudat picks up that mini comic, looks at it, and he goes, "Not my best work."
Right on.
So we were kind of bummed about that one, but it was what it was. That's
good.
No, I was just saying it's just really good because, like I said, I mean, it's like you got Kunitz and like that, and then you got Kirk and you got Vinny. So Vinny and Kirk bring a different kind of angle towards the story. We've all heard this. We've all heard the story about the beginning of GI Joes with Larry and all of those guys. 81 and how they're trying to get that back in. But we wanted to kind of get a diverse grouping of these guys to kind of get stories, and that's what Dan and I've been really working on. Is we've been working on we're going to have 2 different Real American Hero panels on Saturday and Sunday, but they're going to be totally different. They're not going to be Sunday is not going to be a regurgitation of the Saturday. So one of the stories is going to be kind of, stories from the trenches. Each one of the guys is going to be talking about, some of the stuff that was going on when they were working there. And then the other one is going to be concepts that didn't make it. And so they're going to be talking about concepts that they presented, why didn't it work and such like that. And I think it's going to be tied into Dan's latest 2 issues, 14 and 15, which were the last 2 issues of his series of books. And so we'll be kind of picking from that as well.
Cool. Now I noticed you have a YouTuber here, Narc, not another retro channel. I'm a much bigger deal than this guy, Narc. So I'm confused as to why the 3POA podcast is not on your website as a special guest. I'm just saying.
Well, I apologize. I've known those guys for years.
I'm kidding.
No, I've known those guys for years. I've known Craig a little bit. I've known Mike. They call him Boston Mike. I knew him when he was Mike because he used to do our shows all the time. And they're a great group of guys. They've always come to our shows. They've always supported us. We try to do a film. They did a film a couple years back, and then we try to do I don't think you would call it a film festival by any means, but it was a movie that they did. We had them to do that, and then I was like, "Hey, listen, since you guys have been helping us, let's go ahead and give you a table at the show." And they're just a bunch of Texas clowns, man. So we had to show them some love. So a great group of guys. Yeah. I do know this. I've been talking to Chad. And there's a spot for kind of people, if like you and Chad and such like that. But Chad was the one initiated. There will be a table for you guys to broadcast from anytime you want to, and such like that. It's fine. Chad came in late at the game and asked me about it. I'm like, hey, brother, it's going to be right next to the concession table. So you might be smelling the hot dogs by the time it's done. But he was like,
Perfect.
I don't care.
That's
So,
better.
yeah.
It's better than what Chad usually smells like. So,
Yeah.
it's good. So we got Narc going. I like Narc's channel. It's a good channel. He does cool stuff.
That's some good guy.
Of course, the legend Ron Rudat is going to be there, which is great. We met him. Me and Bobby met him a few years ago. Bobby, I know you've known him for a long time, but
Yeah.
super nice guy, Ron.
Great guy.
Yeah.
And his wife's awesome too. I talk probably more to Jenny than I do to Ron. So
she's great. Like you could talk to her forever.
You can. She's awesome.
Of course, Kirk Bazigian, one of my favorite people to follow on social media. I love Kirk's presence. He's a really funny guy. And he's a legend, right? So he'll be there.
Yeah, and he's the biggest cheerleader, man. I mean, it's like, out of all the guys, Ron pops in every so often. Kirk's right there, man. He's always like, hey, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be awesome, da-da-da-da. And what's so funny is he had I work, on Cotswold. And I was doing when Brian did his show in Frisco, they're out in the Frisco, Plano area. He came into the booth, and I knew who he was. I mean, I'm not an idiot, And he walked in the booth, and I started kind of fangirling a little bit. And he was like, "Hey, how's Tina going? Tina doing?" She was the owner at the time. I was like, "Oh, she's doing good." And he goes, "Well, tell her I said hi." And I'm like, "Sure thing, not a problem." He probably doesn't even remember it, but I was just like, "Oh my God, Law and Order came into my booth," So. But yeah, super great guy.
Yeah, Kurt's cool. All right, Dan Klingensmith will be there.
Good old Dan. Dan is the glue. Like I said, I knew some of these people. I'd reached out to them, and then I was having a little bit of a problem. So I reached out to another gentleman by the name of Gray Childs, and then I didn't know Gray was talking to Dan, and then I was, then basically Gray was like, "Just talk to Dan." So I started talking to Dan, and Dan originally wasn't going to do the show. He was going to do another show. And then he called back and said, well, how things have changed. And I was like, awesome, man, let's get on this thing, And so he and I have been on the phone a lot. He had to take a little break to, get his books ready. His, 14 volumes, 14 and 15. But he and I have been talking all day today. But super great. The guy, he's going to be moderating the Real American Hero panels. He's going to be moderating the Hall of Fame and the Timeless Collection panels, so classic collection panels. So he's definitely a valuable asset for the show.
Cool. Dan's also the reason I'm going.
Yeah, because I remember we were kind of the conversation was going on one day because he was talking to you and I was talking to him. Yeah, I give kudos to him on that one too. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Another Hasbro legend, Daryl DePriest is going to be there. Friend of Bobby's, and he's been just all over the place when it comes to the toy world.
Yeah, Daryl's a trip because I knew Daryl back in the early days of the cons when he wrote his book on it for G.I. Joe 12-inch, and then of course he got the job at Hasbro, and of course at that point he reached God status for the rest of us guys, and. But he was always really down to earth. And, then he worked on G.I. Joe, and he did the 40th anniversary. And then he transitioned over to Star Wars. And what was so funny is I've tried to get him to come to the shows before, but he was kind of like, It's about this time he was just doing shows. He was going as a vendor. And, he's still buying stuff for himself, and he was just hanging out. And then I said, hey, listen, what would you think about doing he did a 2-part panel at the second and the last convention sets, the JoeCon, on Adventure Team, because he got access to a lot of these Adventure Team designers. And he was like, yeah, that would be kind of cool. He's like, can Todd come? He was Cobra. I was like, not a problem. We'll fly in Todd. And then it was so funny. He got all excited because he wanted to have a booth. I was like, dude, we got you covered. And then he was like, hey, did you know I worked on Star Wars? I'm like, Daryl, I know everything that you worked on, man. He's like, well, I can do Star Wars next year. And I'm like, great, man. But it was so funny. He just thought I didn't know anything about him. I'm like, Daryl, I followed you. The minute you got hired by Hasbro, I followed you, So he's a great guy. I'll get him to tell you some stories about his entrepreneurship when he was a teenager. So it's needless to say, it's very colorful. So
awesome. We got the 3D Super Joes, Steve Stovall.
Mm-hmm. Steve, I've known Steve again. Steve Stovall's old school. He lives, breathes, and spits Super Joe. In fact, Daryl came across some prototypes of Super Joe stuff when he was doing this Adventure Team thing, and Steve ended up with some of it. He ended up going into a partnership with Jason Schiermeyer with White Elephant. And they have, I think they call it Astro Command. It was named Super Joe Unlimited, but there was some wrangling going on with that name. I won't go into detail on that one. So they changed their name, and so they redesigned the Super Joe body, because the Super Joe body, if you're familiar with it, it was like the muscle body from '76, which basically the joints just deteriorated. And so Jason helped re-engineer, because Jason also had experience working with Mego. And so they've reintroduced it at Super Joe Unlimited. And so they have the head sculpts are great looking. They're perfect. The bodies, they've done Darkon, they've done Super Joe Commander, Super Joe, and all like that. And so he'll be at the show doing a presentation, because again, I wanted to, unfortunately, we've lost all the guys that worked on the 1960s stuff, Sam Spears and all those other guys. So we can only start from Adventure Team. So that's why we're doing Adventure Team. We're doing Super Joe. We're doing G.I. Joe Real American Hero, Hall of Fame, Timeless Collection, and then Classic Collection. Because the kids that grew up, the kids that played with Classic Collection in the 90s, 2000s, they're getting of age right now, and they want to start going to shows too. So that's why we're trying to, to cover all that ground for the 60th anniversary. So
very, very cool, man. And then George Vega, illustrator and comic book artist.
George has been helping us tremendously with a lot of package design and artwork and such like that. In fact, when I got to know George because of Jason, because he did a lot of stuff for the Strike Force Alpha line that Jason was doing with, and I forget Jason's partner. And so we wanted to do a kind of then and now type of concept with the t-shirt design. And so we picked up the 1967, I think it was the 1967 Sabotage sets. And so we were like, well, okay, what would be a concept of the equivalent, the counterpart to that for a Real American Hero? So we naturally gravitated towards Snake Eyes. But I didn't want to do Ninja Snake Eyes. I started with 82 Snake Eyes, so I was always the Commando Snake Eyes. So he digitally redid the Sabotage set and actually added some parts that were cut off from the packaging. And then he did an original drawing of Snake Eyes. And so that's what the t-shirt's going to be, because it's like, again, it's the 60th anniversary. We want to have a really cool t-shirt for the show that people can buy or they get with the package. So he did the artwork for that. He's doing some artwork for Cosplay Collectibles. He does work for Marvel and DC and stuff like that. And he's a big G.I. Joe fan like everybody else. So he was the last edition that we had as far as our special guests go.
Right on. And then let's see here. Where'd this go? Mython the Python says, LaserPants, get to the important part about the 501st Legion Star Garrison. So there it is. Star Garrison from the 501st Legion. They're going to be there cosplaying.
They'll be there. They've been a longtime supporter of the show. We have them. We also have the Fighting 7088. They're a G.I. Joe cosplay group. They've supported us since the since the very beginning. And I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name. It's Void Star Dark Empire, which is they're kind of like the scum and villainy kind of guys, they kind of like do dark Jedis and bounty hunters and stuff like that. Those guys have been with us since day one, and got a lot of love for those guys. They kind of geek out between that and Star Trek every so often, but now they're more Star Wars than they are Star Trek. But yeah, we've always all three groups been really great, very supportive of us. When we had Ron the first time out, 788, they brought out a 1/1 scale Fang. and Ron sat in it and doing the joystick, and Ron just had a blast sitting on that bad boy. And but yeah, I'm not. I hope I don't get stoned for this. I'm not a big fan of cosplay. When it comes to the chicks that come out and their gazongas are out that far, and they're like, they're taking away the attention from the vendors or from the creative guys, but these guys have been really low key. I mean, we got them their dedicated area. They set up their stuff. People come and take pictures with them. And I don't know. I've never understood about the thing about come see this. Well, I can kind of understand we're all guys. Come see this chick or whatever. But, I'm getting on a tangent.
So what you're saying is there's no Vampirella cosplayers going to be there?
No, there will not be a Lady J that is super buoyant and can float in the water. Okay, so sorry to break that to you.
But Chad,
I guess I'll tell my booth babes to stay home.
Hey, you can bring the booth babes. That's fine, man. It's just I just remember there was I don't know if it was the guy from was it Mahi Comics? Is that the comic shop over in Colorado? I remember he wrote a thing. He went to San Diego Comic-Con and he was kind of griping about that. It was kind of disappointing that the comic guys and then the people that worked, they're like Mike Zeck and Bob Layton and all those guys, they were getting overshadowed by the people that were portraying the comic book characters, and they were getting more, higher billing and more attention. And I just never understood. I've never understood that dynamic. I've always believed in, and I've always maintained this from the beginning. Your vendors are your rock stars.
Yeah.
They're your bread and butter for the show. You never want them to be, secondhand items, third string quarterbacks or anything like that. Do we love our celebrity guest or a special guest? God, yes, we love them. But the vendors are the backbone of the show. People are going there and they want to do some shopping, and they want to have a fun time. And so I don't know. I've digressed. So I'm probably going to get a lot of nasty letters from women cosplayers now. So sorry.
When I was at Hasbro, we used to do Comic-Con. You could always tell when a cosplayer entered the booth because all of a sudden there'd just be this wave of just people.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? And all of a sudden you'd see like the cosplayer, the girl that's dressed up like whatever. And they came wandering in and they come with this wave of just guys with their phones out, just snapping pictures. Like they don't care what booth she goes into. They're going where she's going.
Yeah. And I just always think that was counterproductive. I mean, I've been to shows. I mean, I did a show. I won't name names. I did a show a couple years ago. You were there, Bobby, and Slaughter was there with you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I can fully understand Slaughter. Slaughter's like that guy's a piece of history. I mean, down in Texas, he's wrestling royalty. I don't know what you guys call it up there. We call it wrestling down here.
Wrestling.
And so I can understand somebody like that. That's a person who has earned their keep. Mm-hmm. And I've always been a comic book fan. Like I said, that's the reason why Mike Zeck and Bob Layton and all these other guys, I've always been big fans of their artwork and stuff like that. I don't know. I've just never understood. I quasi understand the appeal. It's a sex appeal kind of thing, but I've never understood the celebrity appeal of it. It's like, yeah, exactly. Really, let's get sexy.
Chad says at least 2 members of the finest will be there, Chad and the ma'am. So they'll be in cosplay. That'll be cool. I did want to talk about the vendors. You have 50 vendors listed here, including Cotswold Collectibles, Emporium of Cool, Chicken Fried Toys, Call Sign Longbow, Strike Force Alpha, and of course Valaverse.
Yep,
Valaverse will be there. And then number 17 as a vendor is Daryl DePriest.
Daryl wanted a booth, man. He wanted a booth. Okay. We were ready to give him a table, and sit up there with Ron and the rest of the guys. He's like, I want to sell some stuff. So he's actually driving in for the show. And he's been doing our show. He's been doing Steve Stilwell show, the Kentuckiana GI Joe Toy Expo in Louisville. And he's been doing the Toylanta show in Atlanta and Joelanta that they do in the fall. So yeah, it's kind of funny to see Daryl there. You know, in the beginning he was kind of just floating around at the shows, and he'd have a booklet and his stuff he was trying to finish off in his collections, and then he just started setting up and selling off his stuff. So yeah. Daryl would be there as a vendor.
His con binder is like the thing of legends. Like, I remember he showed me his con binder. I'm like, it's just got tabs and like Star Wars, G.I. Joe, like all sorts of stuff. He's so meticulous in what he's looking for and what he collects. And before he moved from Rhode Island, I got to see like his collection. It was unbelievably impressive. You know, just how he catalogs stuff. It's awesome.
That's cool.
It's mind numbing. It's funny because we had bought a collection. I don't know if you guys, either of you guys know Ace Allgood at all?
Mm-mm.
You ever talk to him? Ace is more related to 12-inch, but we bought a guy's collection that lived in like, I think it was like Iowa or Idaho. And I mean, it was literally, guy lived in a double wide, and he had floor to ceiling boxed and carded classic collection. And it was such a large collection. Daryl was actually talking to us about coming down and photographing everything. So I think he was working on a book on classic collection. But yeah, that book that you're talking about, I mean, it is like, I mean, it's like OSHA's, it's like an OSHA manual or something like that. It's just real meticulous, you know.
All right. And then I want to talk about this real quick. You're doing a custom figure contest and a custom diorama contest with cash prizes.
Yeah. This is another throwback to Brian Savage. A lot of the clubs, when we were doing the shows, Joanna was another one of them. Steve does another one. We do a custom figure contest, and it's in each scale. And then we do a custom diorama / custom vehicle contest. Again, it's any scale. It could be 1/18 scale. It could be 1/12 scale, 1/6 scale. The dioramas are limited to a certain size because we've had guys that would bring in like a 4-foot by 8-foot diorama thing, and it was like monstrous.
Wow.
But you know, it's just something that is, you know, I've always believed in the creativity. I've always been a big fan of kit bashing and customizing, and so that's something we do. And then what the club is doing is they're going to be having, I don't know if they call them Joe Bucks or something like that. So basically, if you win first place in the figure contest, if I remember correctly, you get like 75 Joe Bucks. And what that enables you to do, you take the 75 Joe Bucks and you go anywhere in the showroom and you buy whatever you want. You present them that voucher, and that vendor will give you $75 worth of merch.
Whoa, that's nice.
So, yeah,
cool.
So it could be anybody out there. And of course, the vendor, all they got to do is they take that voucher and they go back to the club, and the club will pay you. So the vendors aren't going to get screwed out of the deal. They're going to get reimbursed for it. But it's encouraging people to get creative. And we've seen we had a guy, I want to say he was out of Florida, and he had been at an IPMA show, and then he basically stayed over a week to compete against our show. And we jokingly called him a ringer because the guy was phenomenal. He was working in 1/6 scale, but you know, last year we had some guys that were working on, like, they were doing some Warhammer stuff that was pretty impressive. We've seen some stuff that people have used Bobby's work and they further detail it. So it's really cool. We haven't seen as much participation lately. It's been kind of dwindling, but we're still supporting it. We're kind of hoping it gets back, and we just keep pushing it because it's just, to me, it's an extension of the collector community. You know, people, they like to collect figures, and there's those people that really love to customize. And especially in today's day with doing 3D printing, people are getting extremely creative. We had a guy that he did, I think it was an M24 Chaffee in 1/6 scale out of 3D printing. He spent almost like a year building it, and that thing looked like it was like a Tamiya model kit. It was phenomenal.
Cool, man. Right on.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. We plan on you know, continuing that for further years. And then, like I told you before, because we're moving over to new digs, we're planning on expanding and incorporating some of the things that Brian used to do at his shows, that really get the collectors involved and get them participating, and bridging that gap between 3 3/4-inch collectors and 12-inch collectors. There's always been, if you've ever went to Brian shows, there was kind of like this unknown gap between us, you know. 3 3/4-inch guys, they kind of did their thing, and 12-inch guys kind of did their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Brian was suggesting them to do, I guess, what eventually ended up being HasCon, it was like, well, at least the 3 3/4-inch guys and the 12-inch guys banded together because they didn't like the My Little Pony guys, you know. So they at least banded together against a common enemy, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's we got lots of plans, and we got lots of plans for growth, and we really, like I said, we just really want people to go there and have a fun time, experience the people that are there, do some shopping, and bring their kids. So it's a family friendly event. Yes, I know Chad will be there, so Chad will have to behave himself and watch what he's saying. And by the way, that's the last edition. I don't know if you caught it. 7 o'clock on Saturday, we will be having a swap meet at the hotel, and it's Chad's going to be running it. So if it totally fails, it's on Chad. But he and I were talking about trying to add something else, and so there's 3 different rooms at the hotel at the Hilton Garden Inn, and I forget what it's called. It's on the website. He'll have the swap meet there from 7 till around 8:30, and then, like I said, 8 or 8:30, we'll have the other one, the paid event with the build a vehicle, and so we're trying to cover all the bases, man.
7 to 9. It's Chad's swap meet.
Yeah, it's Chad's swap. Yeah, we got really original with that one. So. Yep.
Right on.
Our branding machine is working overtime.
Okay, so before we take some questions from the chat and cut you loose, Greg, was there anything else you wanted to let the audience know about DFW GI Joe show?
Basically, we're selling tickets online. We're selling tickets for the Commander's package. We're selling tickets for the build a vehicle. We're selling a 2-day package. I mean, any type of package you can imagine as far as admission. We have online ticket sales. It's going on until June 16th. After that, you're going to have to go up to the front, the front admission table and buy your tickets. We will be sending out information for anybody that has a prepaid package or prepaid admission. We will have a certain section at the show. We'll have a map showing where people will go to pick up their packages on Friday. And then for the people that are just, we'll have a general admission area and we'll have a prepaid admission area. So we'll be getting that information out as well. And, the area of Grapevine is a beautiful place. Downtown Grapevine's beautiful. So bring your family, go to the show, have some fun at the show. Go to Six Flags. Six Flags over Texas is only like maybe 25 minutes down the road. Yep. If you want to get there a little bit early. We're in Texas, so I'm going to tell you, there's a gun range right across the street from the hotel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's an indoor gun range.
I'm going to have to check a bag now.
Yeah, right? That's what I was just thinking. I was like, I'm going to check in a couple bags.
There's an indoor gun range across. I already told Chad about it. I think that you can go ahead. I mean, I hope people's heads don't explode now. But yeah, it's I didn't even know it was there till like a couple of years ago when we saw it. And a friend of mine was like, "Man, I think he said he shot an Uzi while he was there. I think you can like rent some class 3s over there." So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. Make it a like I said, we can stay there for all 3 days. But if you get there a little bit earlier, go and check out. I mean, like I said, you got Six Flags over Texas. You can go downtown to Dealey Plaza and all that stuff. So Dallas, DFW area is a pretty nice, pretty cool, fun place to check out. So
hope you got metal detectors at the show.
we will have off-duty police officers at the show.
Good.
So yeah, yeah. I don't know what the laws for. Well, we have open carry in Texas, so whatever, man. So we're good.
All righty. So
we're not crazy. So.
Let's go to the chat here. V Conley, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, I don't have the words to emphasize how excited Blue Serendipity and I are for DFW. We're happy to support Bobby as well as other local vendors, but we really can't wait to hang out with all our friends. V Conley's a good dude. Can't wait to see him in Blue Serendipity again.
Yeah.
Tons of great vendors. And even like, if you guys come early, the DFW area has a ton of awesome toy stores that you could drive. I mean, and they're all like close, like in the.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can go to Dallas. Dallas Vintage Toys is probably the biggest draw, and it's kind of east of the show. Very close to the show is Retro Madness.
Great store. Yeah.
Great store, fun store. Mike's generally we run into Mike over there. But yeah, there's a bunch of different toy stores around there. There actually used to be a lot more, but I think COVID really kind of put the hurt on some of them. But there's some really there's like, I want to say at least 2 to 3 Star Wars centric toy stores. Order
Holocron,
66.
yeah.
Holocron's another one, yeah. So definitely, I mean, there's just, like I said, get there a few days early, stay a few days afterward. I mean, I want to say, Kunitz and his wife, I think they're going to go down to San Antonio, go check out the Alamo while they're down here.
Cool.
So it's a lot of fun. And playing off of what you just said, that is the key thing about it. That's the great thing that I've always enjoyed, and that I really enjoyed about Brian shows, is the camaraderie. Yeah, it's great to get on the showroom floor and do some shopping. It's great to see the vendors. But that's the reason why we have the Hilton Garden Inn, and that's also the reason why we're moving over to the DFW Airport Marriott, is so that people can hang out. Because to me, I've made so many friends when I've gone to these shows. It's almost like a family reunion, and you're going to get to see everybody. Because yeah, we can all talk to each other on Zoom and shit like that. But it's first show I ever did was Savage's show in San Antonio. I made friends there that I'm still friends with to this day. So, and I think that's an important part of these shows as well. Yep. It's just the friendships made and the friendships that are continued. Yeah,
that is the best part, man. The people.
It is the people, most definitely.
Thank you, Vishay. We got Drew G, member for 9 months. Thanks, Drew. Welcome back, Bobby. You didn't miss much. Ryan's just changing a baby's diaper. Hope you come to Joe Lanta. If you do, I'll buy you a drink.
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see.
Oops, I just unstarred. It's Chad's chat, and I missed his super chat. Dang it. I missed his super chat on the last show, and I can't miss it.
He's really going to think we're picking on him.
Now I can't see it. Dang it. I just unstarred it, Chad.
Of all the people.
Let me go to, I think I can pull it up over here. I just can't bring it on screen. Here it is. Chad, thank you. I got to play his theme song. It's Chad. Thank you, Chad, for the super chat. He says, okay, I'm here, all you freaking toxic jerks. Bobby, hope the trip was good. Ryan, love you, my dude. Greg, can't wait to see you next month. Congrats on 6,000 subs. 3 POA for life. Hashtag FVI.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Chad, so much. Sorry I couldn't bring that up on the screen. I'm getting a little trigger happy on this mouse. Impossible Pie, thank you for the member chat. Bobby, tell us about drawing porn comics and which Action Force character you have drawn nude. I'll tell you what, we'll save that for a little bit later.
All right.
Thank you, Impossible Pie. J Creations, New York, thanks for the super chat. The wife and I will definitely be at DFW show. Can't wait to meet you all. Have a great show, guys. Thank you, J Creations. I appreciate that. Another one from Chad. Thank you, Chad. He says, Boog invented Texas and DFW and toy shows. That's an inside joke. Thank you, Chad. Much appreciated, man. We got my twinsy here. Mython, the Python. Thank you very much, sir. He says, but little does everyone know, Chad invented Boog. Therefore,
it's like fourth wall breaking fourth wall.
Damn, that's a joke within a joke. Thank you, Mython, the Python. Figure Fever. Thank you for the super chat, Greg. He says, hi, Ryan, Bobby, Greg, and everyone in the chat. Hi to you, Figure Fever. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. We got Master Son 42 with a super chat. Thank you, Master Son. DFW is going to be off the chain. I can't wait to see all the fathers of A Real American Hero. Also, as always, great to see friends as well.
Yeah, Master Son.
It is quite the lineup this year, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Master Son. Let's see here.
We're gonna have quite the 3 POA crew there.
There's a lot of 3 POA crew. There's a lot of Valaverse fans coming, traveling from great distances to be there. Let's see here.
Good thing that exclusive's getting here soon.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Brian Dillingham, thank you for the super chat. As always, my friend. Doodog Reviews with the super chat. Thank you, Doodog. He says Star Wars is way better than Star Trek. I agree. I don't know where that's coming from, but I actually agree with that. Well, some Star Wars.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need to clarify that.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Guys, I know I passed over some super chats. I'm going to get back to them. I'm just trying to find the ones that have to do with DFW Joe Show, because we are going to cut Greg loose here in just a minute. Rachel Salinas wants to know, will Cotswold have World Peacekeepers, A10s, and Quonset huts?
Yeah, we'll have the A10s are already sold out. We brought in some 118 scale A10 tank busters from M&C Toy Center, and we didn't realize that was like the hot commodity. So we're trying to bring in some more for the show, and then the Quonset huts. Yeah, we'll have the show. So
right on.
Yeah, people think it's really funny. Well, it's not really funny. Cotswold Collective was a company I own. I bought it back in 2020, excuse me. It got its start because of 1/6 scale. It started out with Action Man and G.I. Joe, and then it started really branching out with doing parts. But then we started doing Real American Hero. We were buying collections and stuff, and then we actually brought in quite a bit of what is it? India's Fun School? Is it Fun School?
Fun School, yeah.
Yeah, we were but we had a contact over in India. We were bringing Fun School in, and then 9/11 happened, and it really put a hurt on a lot of things. And 1/18 scale was the first to go. And I started working for Tina about 15 years ago. And then I was trying to get 1/18 back. And then Tina just really wasn't receptive to it, because I knew she knew she was going to retire. So when I came in and bought the company in 2020, I brought in M&C Toy Center. They do a bunch of 1/18 scale stuff. And then we had the Fun School stuff. And then we did Joy Toy. And then we did, we tried to do Leonard the core, which is kind of interesting. I know there's some people hate the core and some people like the core. The guy who owns the company is actually from Oklahoma, and we've tried to bring some of that stuff, because we know there's a customer base that loves to buy these vehicles and to really customize them. So I've tried to focus on that, because you really can't find core stuff here. World Peacekeeper stuff is kind of hit or miss. You survive in big lots, and then we're slow. We've been kind of dabbling in 1/12. My goal is to be able to get Bobby stuff. I know I've been talking to, I forget the name of your guy, Bobby. You just brought him on board.
Mark?
I think it redheaded. Mark
Weber. Yeah.
Mark Weber. Yeah. Mark had reached out to us. So we eventually want to get back into doing that, because I am trying to focus on what I would want to buy. And I love your stuff. I love all the other 1/18 scale stuff. Strike Force Alpha, we're going to be carrying some of their stuff. We're talking to Troy McKee and all those guys at Cosplay Longbow to carry their stuff, and just to have it all available, because some of these things are kind of hard to come by. So sorry to go on there on a tangent, but yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Troy does all my packaging.
He does.
Yep. He's been doing all my packaging since Series 1, right? Since the beginning.
Really? So he does all the artwork and everything for it?
Not all the artwork. He's done some artwork, but he mostly does all the packaging design. Yeah.
I know John. I've known John longer than Troy, because John was also a 12-inch guy.
Gotcha.
And so when we did that show a couple years back, and Leonard sent us like all those weird looking vehicles that you never could find in the States, Kukovic was right there first in line. He was already reaching out to me. It's like, hey man, can I get that P-51 Mustang? I'm like, yeah, I got you covered. And so then he introduced me to Troy, and I really dug their stuff, just for the simple fact is I was always an October Guard nut back in the day. And so that since they were doing 1980s Russian type of stuff, I really dug it. But Troy, I like Troy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, good dude.
Why would anyone hate the core? The core is awesome. The core is a great line, man.
The longevity of it alone.
Yeah.
I was really lucky. I got to go there a couple years ago. They have a warehouse in don't give me a line, Kansas City, I want to say. And they actually have a warehouse that stores nothing, but they have like 2 to 3 of every single thing that they've ever manufactured.
Wow.
And it's like an archive. And so I got to see, and we're not talking just core, we're talking anything that was Leonard. And I got to see some crazy looking stuff over there. I was a big fan of I don't know what it was called, but it was all their space themed stuff that came out in the 90s. They had like that space capsule that looked like the Apollo spacecraft and everything. and they had it there, and I was just like, God, man, the library of stuff that you guys have there. But
That's
I know
cool.
that I was a core kid. You know, I had G.I. Joe, I had Sergeant Rock, I had everything that was Remco. Man, they went through so many different names. You know, like U.S. Forces, Defenders of Peace, and stuff like that. And I liked the core guys. I thought that the plastic quality was pretty good. Their names were pretty original. I was even as a younger guy, I thought the packaging design was pretty cool. So they never made it into the A squad. You know, they were definitely B squad guys. But yeah, I like it. I know some people don't, some people do. So
Greg, I'm gonna grab something that I just picked up at a show last weekend that I think you'll like.
Okay.
In the meantime, Greg Suka has a question. He says, "When is the Action Force panel? I need to know about this flying thingamabob."
You're gonna have to ask that to Bobby. Bobby, I asked Bobby. I was like, "Can you give me a synopsis on what's going on for Sunday?" And he was like, "He's gonna keep it close to his chest." I don't blame him.
What time is the panel on Sunday?
His panel on Sundays at 10, and we actually do early bird on Sunday at 9. And then Bobby's panel is at 10. All the panels are in the same place. We're going to lay out a diagram for that. So I know we're probably going to get bum rushed. In fact, I'm a little scared shitless how the people are going to be showing, because they're like, somebody asked me, they're like, what's the room capacity for that room? And I was like, it's for 100 people. And they're like, yeah, you might want to get another room. I'm like, there is no other room, you know? So it might be people
in like sardines, baby.
But yeah, people might be sitting on other people's laps. It's going to be pretty comfy and probably sweating like balls in there. So who knows?
I'll make sure I start like 5-10 minutes late to make sure everyone gets in and has time to get up there. Because I have what I have planned to show at that panel. I've never showed more stuff for the first time, or more first time reveals than I'll have at this show. The most first time reveals.
We'll probably just shut down the show and just have everybody, because that's the thing that's been crazy. Is I've had vendors that are like, man, I want to go to the panel. I'm like, dude, bring another helper. Just go into the show, go into the panel, because everybody wants to go to a different panel. And I'm like, hey man, I'm a vendor too. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, you know. But then again, I get to see all the footage after it's all done, so I get to watch it at home. So
we'll leave Jordan at the booth and we'll go to the panel.
Oh yeah, there you go. All right, so Greg, check this out. So I'm at this show, and when I'm at shows, there's never like a plan of what I'm like looking to buy. If I see something cool, I buy it. But I look out for like weird stuff, like things I've never seen before. And I saw this for the first. I've never seen this before, and I meant to like look it up, but it was a 3 3/4 Wrangler.
Oh yeah.
You know this? You're familiar with it?
Yeah.
All right. I've never seen it before. And I was like, what is that? And I was like, I never knew Wrangler made like a line of figures. She comes with like a suede soft goods vest and stuff. It's from 1983.
Yeah. Yep.
And this figure cost me $20.
Who's the manufacturer?
This is Ertl.
It's Ertl.
Yeah.
Because this is the reason I remember it. When that came out, they released a Wrangler 1/18 scale Little Bird.
Oh, okay.
And so that's what those figures were for, is for that Little Bird. Because I saw that Little Bird, and Hasbro never did a Little Bird. I knew what Little Birds were. And I want to say that the fuselage was metal and the other parts were plastic. And I thought that was, and you can actually fit 3 3/4 inch figures in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That was the first time you could find a Little Bird 1/18 scale. So yeah, and what's funny is, people ask me what I collect, and everybody naturally assumes I collect Adventure Team, which I do, but I'm about 90% done. What I collect now is I collect 1981, 1982 Sergeant Rock from Remco.
All right.
It was such an obscure thing, and it didn't last very long. They moved on to the other ones. And then I collect 1976 Mattel Heroes in Action. I don't know if you guys remember those. Those were the guys. They were smaller. They had these big bulging muscles, Vietnam themed. They were sat on a little brown base, and you clicked them back and forth. They had a rat-a-tat-tat action sound. So there was an upper torso, and then the legs were calf. and they only did it for 2 years in the U.S. And I have a friend of mine, Paul Macias. He is like, I think he has the only Facebook group for Heroes in Action. And in fact, I'm going to talk to him here in about a week, get my collection done. They did 2 years of it. First year they did the Green Guys. Second year they did a wave 2 of Green Guys, and they did a SWAT, because if you remember in the 70s, SWAT was shit. You know, it was the shit. You know, because you had TV show SWAT, you know, with all like that with Hondo. And as you know, with Mattel, it didn't go as well. So what did Mattel do? Crank it over to Italy, crank it over to overseas. So they were doing World War II Germans with the bulging biceps, same fatigues, but they put a German Fritz helmet on them. And then they weren't done. They said, well, what the hell? Let's color them in tan and let's put a British Tommy helmet, which looked totally asinine. But the packaging was called Eroi and Action. I'm probably butchering the whole Italian language, but those are some of the hardest pieces to find. And so, yeah, I have a cabinet that's behind me. That's all I have is I have Sergeant Rock and I have Heroes in Action. And so when I'm going to shows, that's what I'm looking for, are those guys. And they're just really weird. I have guys that are just like, just take it, get it out of my booth. I don't want to see this shit. So.
Cool, man. All right, Master Son 42, thank you for the super chat. He says, Greg, thanks for the A10. Are you bringing more world peacekeepers to the show?
I'm bringing any and all world peacekeepers I can get my hands on. I know the A10s are gone. We're bringing F-18s. We're bringing these 6-wheeled armored cars. We're bringing these Russian-looking battle tanks that got the 55-gallon drums in the back. Yeah, if it's 1/18th we're bringing to the show, it's 1/6 we got 2 booths. We're gonna go nuts for this show. So like I said, it's in our backyard. It only makes sense that I load up a 15-foot trailer and just start, you know, cramming shit in there. So yeah.
Cool. James Lucas,
thank you. Show, right?
What was that?
I can cuss on the show, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah. All right, dude.
James Lucas, thanks for the super chat. He says, hope to make DFW 2025. Have fun, everyone. Thank you, James.
Well, welcome. Yeah, he can come.
Mython the Python with the super chat. Thank you, Mython. He says, looking forward to seeing everyone going to DFW. If you want a Python squeeze hug, just let me know. Look for the sexy, thicky TIE fighter pilot. Right on, man. Can't wait. Maybe the hug. I don't know. Yes, Chad, I can see this one. Thank you, Chad. And let's see here. The last one, Chad, before we cut you loose. Greg, could you look into getting the M&C Eurofighter and MiG-118 jets from the World Peacekeepers line?
The MiGs, were they MiGs or Su-27s? It was a Russian jet. We brought them in. They sold out really fast. I've asked M&C Toy Center, can we get some more of the Russian jets? Because the last time they had a production run, we couldn't. What was the other one called? A Eurofighter? What is that one? Is that the helicopter? No. He's talking about the one that's like a Swedish jet that actually has 2 front wings and 2 back wings. I don't think we can get those because I think those are out of production. They're no longer on their website, but we'll ask about it. Yeah.
Cool. Suka, thanks for the super chat. All right, Greg, we've caught up with all the questions about the show. I just want to thank you so much for coming on to talk with us.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait to meet you in person. I can't wait for the show. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm super stoked too. I was going to tell Bobby, we're already we're investing heavily in stanchions for Friday and Saturday. We're going to have crowd control because I've seen your booth set up at previous shows. I've seen them go right by my booth and go straight to your booth. No anger. But so we are anticipating managing crowd control for that thing, because once you announced that you were doing a set for that show, I can tell you that our metrics on Facebook went apeshit.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let it go to your head, Vala. Okay, don't let it go to your head. All right.
Listen, I'm glad. I want the show to be big. I really want it to be big. I want it to grow, and I want to grow.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we don't want it just to be a shopping thing. We want it to be an experience. We want everybody to have fun. And like I said, I was happy to have Bobby say he wanted to do that, because I was like, really? I even told Bobby, I was like, I don't have a really big space, and he was like, I can make it work. And so you've got like the Twilight Zone space there, because there's that one little corner shot that you can utilize. So
that's why I asked you. I'm like, hey, can I like use that space? Because that
Yeah,
will help.
it's a dead zone. So, but no,
Got it.
we're really excited, and just tell everybody, please be patient. We're going to definitely try to we're going to run the stanchions based upon in fact, we're even going to post where we're putting the stanchions at. So when people line up, they're going to be buying their tickets and they'll get in line for your stuff, but it won't interfere with everybody else, because we try to be considerate with everybody else,
Yeah,
because we know people are going to be going to your booth. There's some other people that are going to have different things that they're going to have theirs. And I know people, I've done shows for years. People are going to make beelines to people that have certain things.
Yep.
So, there are certain vendors that have their legion of fans that come to the show. So we're well aware of it. So
Cool.
So
All right, Greg. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you in about 4 weeks.
all right, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Greg.
Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Brown from the DFW G.I. Joe Show. Thank you so much, Greg. All right, Bobby. We got a bunch of super chats and comments here that we can get to that don't necessarily have anything to do with DFW Joe Show. But man, Greg's a cool guy, man. I can't wait for this show.
Yeah, Greg's great.
All right. First, let's get to Impossible Pie's member chat. Bobby, tell us about drawing porn comics. And which Action Force characters have you drawn nude?
I have not drawn any Action Force characters nude. I think no, I haven't drawn any nude. I definitely did when I was working with the artist who did issue 7. For those of you that read issue 7, it's pretty racy to start. And then in the middle of it, I was doing some roughs about, how I wanted the girls to look in bed and stuff like that. So I guess, I didn't really draw them naked. I just, roughed out the poses and stuff. But the porn comics, it's not my brightest moment.
What was your name? What was your pen name?
Mike Honcho. Because it was right after Talladega Nights came out. Right after Talladega Nights. And for those of you that have not seen Talladega Nights, there's a point where John C. Reilly is talking to Will Ferrell's character when he's in a coma. And he's like, hey, man, I did a spread for Playgirl magazine. And when I say spread, I mean spread. And I did it under the name Mike Honcho. So, like, so what would you say?
That's what he said in the movie. I spread my butt cheeks and everything.
Yeah, I spread my butt cheeks. So it goes like this. So I was at an art school that me and Alex went to, and it's like trying to break into comics. It's a tough business, really tough business. They don't tell you that. They kind of just send you out in the world. And I wasn't great back then. It's like I thought I was great, but I wasn't good. And I didn't start applying myself until like a couple of years out of school, where I like really honed my skills and I got better. I was too busy, fucking around, smoking pot and stuff in school, worrying about watching Monday Night Raw and stuff to like apply myself. But I was doing the con circuit, like after school, had my portfolio going, trying to talk to editors and this and that. And dude, I was showing anybody my work. Anyone who wanted to see it, I was showing them. And you get to like the seedy areas of like cons, especially like back in the day, like you had straight comic conventions. Now it's like a mix, it's, toy shows are toy shows. You have some comic guys, even San Diego Comic-Con, it's a mix now, but it used to be like straight comics, and you had the comic vendors, you had the big comic, businesses, but then you had like the seedy small press guys. And it's like, you start with the big guys and you work your way down, and then by like late Saturday, Sunday, jack me off. That would have been a good one. You get Sunday, it's like, all right, you're scraping bottom of the barrel. So that's when I was over there, and I can't remember which show it was at. Maybe Comic-Con or maybe like MegaCon, something like that. But I was showing, and I walked by this booth, and they did porn comics. And I was just looking, and guys like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, oh, I have my portfolio under my, oh, you got, you an artist? I'm like, yeah. So he started looking at my work. Oh, your stuff's really great. He's like, would you be open for work? I'm like, I guess, like, sure. So then it's just like, he gave me his business card and stuff. And
were you with Alex? Was Alex Sanchez there?
No, I was by
okay.
myself. And they did just really shitty, like black and white, like porn comics.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right. So I reached out to him when I got back, just to say like, see where it goes. Again, I was not getting any work. So, I had to just reach out to the guy, and he's like, oh yeah, do you think we'd be pretty? Now I had a bunch of like, superhero stuff and military stuff. So he's like, oh, we got this story, would be great for you. Now, like their books were like 3 stories in one. So it was like I think it was only like 6 pages. And
you see this?
What?
I thought it would be Hugh Janus.
Man, all these were good. Where was I back then? So it was like, dude, these people. Stop, guys! You're gonna make me think Mike Honcho wasn't good now. Mike Honcho was great at the time. So the guy's like, look, like like this is what I want to say. Now, back then, when you're like trying to break in, you were getting paid like nothing. It's a realistic boner. So I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to all this. So it's like this is terrible. My YouTube guy Matt's gonna be like, man, you should have saved this story for the YouTube channel. Stop, Ryan. I'm trying to get through
It's so stupid.
I'm trying to get through this serious story here. This is a serious part of my career here. So the guy's like, I think I want to say it was $15 per page, but part of me thinks it wasn't that much. It might have been like 10. When you're trying to break in, dude, people pay you nothing. Blow back. Where do you think I came up with the name, man? Jeez, Ryan's losing it.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I think our viewers just went down.
Oh.
All right.
Sorry.
So get your shit together, Ryan.
Okay.
So again, it was either $10 or $15, no more than $15. Again, I think it was like 6 pages, maybe 8, but this story was it was a military story. It took place in like an aircraft hangar, and some sort of general or whatever is talking to this other this woman, who knows what the fuck, and it goes from 2 panels of talking to then just blowjobs, ass eating to all this other stuff. We're gonna get demonetized now. So then it's like, it just goes into it, and it's just like, them banging in the aircraft hangar.
You need to draw all this panel to panel.
Yeah. So
what did a splash page look like?
There was no splash page. I had a big panel.
Oh, panel.
I got like a 3/4 splash page, and I remember I can remember clear as day what it was. But I remember like thinking at the time, like, okay, well, guy was like, get graphic, do whatever you need to do. Well, okay, cool. So then I was like, well, need some reference as an artist. So let's take a walk down to 7-Eleven and ask for the magazines behind the counter. So what? Go ahead.
Who was the comic artist that was tracing porn ladies? Like
that? Greg Land.
Greg Land. Yeah.
Greg Land.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went, grabbed like a magazine or 2. Because I like what I had like Playboys and stuff. I didn't have like the raunchy stuff. Like I needed something like raunchy. So I did it. I did the pages, and then it was just like took forever to get paid. And then like they say it took forever to like bugging them to send me like the comic. And I wish I remember what the name of the company was. I know that they ended up sending. I asked them for some issues, and they sent me one copy. They probably did like they probably did like a run of like 100 issues. It was probably like nothing. I can't see these guys really like selling crazy amounts of issues. Now, the last place I remember seeing that issue was, geez, probably like 10 or let's see, I've been in Rhode Island for over 10 years now. It was probably 15 years ago, because this is like very early 2000s. This is probably like 2004 or 2005, somewhere around then. And I have to remember, somebody look up what year Talladega Nights came out, because it was either that year, like, or the next year when I did that. So but yeah, they sent me one issue.
2006.
2006. Okay. So yeah, it must have been that year right after, because I graduated in 2003, and then I was doing the grind for the next, 3 years, 4 years till I, went to Hasbro in 2007, and then started doing freelance work for Hasbro. But yeah, that issue was in a big portfolio, big Joe Kubert. You had to buy like all these big portfolios and had all your art supplies, but it said Joe Kubert all over the side of it. Alex remembers it. He knows what it is. But the issue was in there. It was like hidden. Like I didn't want anyone to see it. Like I didn't even tell. My dad was like my biggest advocate for like my artwork and stuff. And I never even showed him. Like I couldn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
But I remember like I asked the guy, my editor or writer or whatever, I said, can I use like a fake name? And he goes, yeah, most people do, just, because of the nature of it. So I used Mike Honcho, and that was my porn comic days, was one like 6 or 8 page, issue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but then listen, not too long after it all turned around, I started, because I was getting very frustrated at that point, because it was like hard to get work. And then, like I said, in 2007, I went to a vendor fair at Hasbro, and then I started getting a bunch of freelance work like right before and then during that. And then, before you know it, I was back at school, and, and then I did an internship in 2010. So yeah, so long-winded story.
Did anyone at Hasbro, were they like, oh, are you Mike Honcho? Mike Honcho?
No.
Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, if someone has that issue, geez, man.
What's it called?
I'm trying to remember the name, like that. I don't remember the name of the comic, but I thought I remembered the name of the comic book publisher. It was like Stun Publishing or something like that, or like, yeah, or something like that. It'll come to me. I'll figure it out. But I remember I told this story in another podcast a few years back, and then I remember like that night I was trying to like find it and like look it up, but it was like, man, those small press companies back from those early 2000s, man, they can't be in business anymore.
No, there's a comic called Honcho, but
Hmm.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
John Latella Vanguard release date, did Bobby say?
So they are set to ship from the factory, I believe, the last week of June. So then I'll have them by, the end of July or like that first week of August, and then we'll start sending them out.
Cool. Wow,
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah. Right around the corner.
Star-Lord 15, Breast Cancer Awareness Steel Brigade confirmed. Now, you had a little tease in your booth at the last show.
I have no idea what they're talking about.
Okay.
No idea.
Let's see here. We got Texas. Oh, I forgot to ask you this earlier. Texas 1911. How much will the Bone Collector be? I assume he means version 2.
Yeah, the exclusive Bone Collector will be $35. Okay. So it's a little more just because, one, it's a limited run, so it's much lower than, it's like a third of our normal runs. It's got the kind of the golden ticket, and then the costs were a little high on this one because we had to outsource parts from multiple factories to make this one item. So when that kind of happens, it ends up being a slight upcharge on the cost. So I didn't want it to be too much higher on the customer, so it is $35.
Alrighty. Let's see here. We got Suka. Suka's here. Just need a whole wave of bloody figures.
It'll be interesting to see like people that actually get the bloody variant, and then how that's gonna go, and what those prices are gonna be on the secondary market. Man.
I mean, apple barrel paint at Walmart is like it's like $1 a bottle.
Yeah, but where are you gonna get that vac metalized stand, man?
That's true. Yeah, that's
See?
what you want.
See?
We got Grizzly Nightmare 80. Thanks for the super chat. How do you guys feel about 90s Marvel Toy Biz figures? Loving your content, and Bobby, keep exposing toy company greed.
I'll try, man.
I love the 90s Toy Biz stuff.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was buying all that stuff, X-Men and when it started in 1990 with the Spider-Man and Hulk and
Yep.
Thor. I love that stuff when I was a kid.
Yeah, when they started going over to like the X-Men line, dude, when I was at the show this past weekend, they had a great selection, but I was trying to find the Weapon X and I couldn't find him. But man, looking back at like everyone they did crazy figures, you know, but they went like deep, like Gideon, GW Bridge, Kane, like they went nuts.
Yeah. They did all kinds of deep cuts from the 90s.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got thank you, Grizzly Nightmare 80. We got one from Ripe for Valhalla. It would be awesome to see Valaverse come to Motor City Comic-Con one day.
Where's Motor City?
Detroit.
I don't know.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
We got Ted Millick with the member chat. Thank you, Ted, for being a member for 9 months. Can't wait to see everyone in DFW. Bobby, how was the China trip? Any good stories to share? I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the China trip.
Yeah. China didn't treat me well. I didn't do well in China. Ryan, do you have the picture that I sent you? Did I show you the bathroom picture? Can we show that?
I could look for it.
Can you pull that up?
I have it ready.
So China. So I just, it wasn't anything that was China's fault. It was totally just me reacting to China.
Did you text it to me or did you?
I thought I sent it in our group chat. But I can send it to you. I'll send it to you in our chat just so you have it now. Because we're gonna want to show everyone this picture.
No, I'll find it. Just tell the story.
So you know, going to China, like the you know, the player, everything went really smoothly. You know, I sprung for business class. It was nice being in the pod and stuff. So flight I took was Boston to London and then London to Hong Kong. My YouTube guy Matt's probably gonna hate me because we filmed a video talking about the whole China trip, but that's okay. I'm gonna tell the story anyway. People will watch that video no matter what. You know, I ended up sleeping for like 10 hours on the plane over to Hong Kong, which was probably a mistake because when we got to Hong Kong, it was 4 p.m. Hong Kong time, but my body's thinking it's 4 a.m, but I'm awake because I just slept for 10 hours. So I'm all messed up from the very beginning. And we're in Hong Kong. And yeah, so this is what I'd always heard rumors that you poop in a hole in the floor in China. This isn't how bathrooms were in Hong Kong. This is how they are in mainland China at the factory. The hotel I stayed at in China, they had actual toilets, but this was how they were at the factory. This is how they were at the bullet train station. So this was an experience. This was definitely an experience. When you're working on like 0 hours of sleep over like a 3.5 day span, and you're trying to squat and hold yourself up is quite the experience. It is not fun. So yeah, so like we got to Hong Kong. I met up with my PM Dave from, you know, the Series 1 factory, and we went around, we got some food, went around to you know, some toy shops and stuff like that. They brought me the first package sample of Bone Collector, which I shared on social media. And it was going fine, but then it was like I went to go to sleep, you know, that night in Hong Kong. But because at this point it's 10, 11 o'clock at night, Hong Kong time, my body's like, no. It's 11 in the afternoon. So we're staying up, even though, you know, you're all messed up. So I literally didn't sleep one minute the first night. I'm sitting there for hours, just on my phone, just playing around, just can't sleep. So I'm like, well, this sucks. because we got to, 7 a.m. They're picking us up to drive to, you got to cross over Hong Kong into mainland China and then go to the first factory that's doing the Vanguard. So, don't sleep, get some breakfast, get in the car and go. Now, we thought that we were going to a factory in one part of China, but our itinerary wasn't correct, and we end up going to a factory that was like 5 hours away. Ooh. So I'm sitting in a car for like 5 hours, but I can't sleep. I'm just like, this sucks. This absolutely sucks. And then, we get there and it's hot. It's hot and it's humid. It's like the jungle, and I don't do well in the humidity. So I'm tired, jet lagged, exhausted, and I'm like not having it. But, it was cool. It was cool going to the factory, seeing the Vanguard. I was like on the production line, seeing like the injection molding machines popping out all these Vanguard parts. Like they had like over 50 injection molding machines, and more than half of them were doing Vanguard parts. It was pretty awesome. And then
that's really cool.
Yeah. Then it's like, you get to see the spray booths. They're spraying it. Then you get to see where, they're assembling it. So it's like, it was really, really cool seeing all these different levels of the Vanguard being done, and then we had to go over some things, comments being made, things like that. They showed me some stuff that we're going to reveal at the DFW panel. And then, then we leave and we have to go to our hotel, and that's like 3 hours away. And I'm trying to sleep in the car, can't sleep in the car. I'm like, what is going on? And get to the hotel, me and my buddy who came with me, who now works for me. We get some food, hanging out, having a beer or two, just talking about things. And then it's like, all right, well, I got to go to sleep. Like I have to go to sleep. But, I don't end up going to sleep. And I'm up again, not even a wink. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why can't I fall asleep? My body's just a mess right now. And I'm just like losing it, like mentally, because it's just like when you're sleep deprived, like it sucks. Like you can't think straight. You're like freaking out. And I'm like, I felt like I was, my room was like 1,000 degrees, and I'm taking cold showers, trying to fall asleep, texting my partner. And I'm like, at this point, it's like 4 a.m, China time. And I'm texting him like, is your room cold? I feel like my AC is not working. He goes, I'll come see. He comes, he goes, dude, your room's freezing. And I'm like, why am I like burning up? And I'm burning up because it's like, I'm not sleeping and I'm just like delirious. I'm like freaking out. I got like a cold, wet towel on my head. I'm like freaking out. Then he's like, dude, you just got to relax. Try to go to bed. And I'm like, dude, well, we're going to be up and at it at, 8 o'clock. We're going to the next factory. He's like, just try to get a couple hours of sleep. And like, I can't. Then it's like, I'm texting my wife and stuff. And it's like, but like talking to her and the kids, it made it worse. Now I'm like freaking out. I'm like losing my shit. Like literally, I was just like a total like little baby all over again. Just like, cause I just mentally was just broken because I like couldn't sleep and I was freaking out. And I was like, what is like, this. I said, I got to get out of here. Like, literally like freaked out. Like I was like, I got to get out of here. Then, long story. So then, because I was all messed up, after that, never slept. I think I ended up like not sleeping. I think it was by the time we got back, because we cut the China trip short, and I said, let's go back to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is more westernized, hotel, where we're staying, malls. It's like a New York City. So, but it's just like everything's very westernized.
It was still a colony not that long ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I like felt like I was like, can we just go back to Hong Kong? I want to go back to Hong Kong. Steve thought it was best to let's go back to Hong Kong. Let's straighten you out, and we'll do the rest of our meetings in Hong Kong. And even when I got back to Hong Kong, I still like, he said, you got to stay awake. He goes, you can't go to sleep so we ended up taking the bullet train back. And that's when like, I was like, man, I had to go to the bathroom. Because it's like sleep deprived, you're jet lagged, you're not eating on a right like schedule. So it's like my stomach was all jacked up. And we got to the bullet train station, and I was like, I just got to go to the bathroom. And of course, They have the holes in the floor. And I'm like, man, why can't, like, for real? Thanks, China. Like, I'm just trying to get out of here. So we take the bullet train back, which was cool, ride the bullet train. But we get back and it's like 2 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon. It seems like you can't go to sleep yet. You got to, because you if you want any chance of getting on their schedule, you got to stay up. And I made it as long as like 5 o'clock. And I said, I can't go any further. I have to go to sleep. So 5 o'clock, I just like curled in bed. And actually, I think I fell asleep for like 4 or 5 hours. It wasn't that long. It was just, just enough because I was just exhausted. And then, we ended up doing the rest of our meetings. I was a little better there. I never got on the schedule. Like, I never got used to their time difference and the jet lag. So it was just so rough. But, it was like, it was cool. Like, we'd wake up. He's a big Rangers fan. I'm a Ranger fan, so we got to watch Rangers playoff games at 7 a.m, which was cool because it's on 7 p.m. here. We did our meetings. I got to see a lot of samples. I got to take a lot of samples home. I think like half my suitcase was packed with toy samples. And it was fine. But I remember like when we left, like I couldn't wait to leave. I was like, I missed my family so much. And it was making it worse when I would like talk to them. But I just wanted out of there. I said, I want to get back home. I live like a hobbit. Like I like being a homebody. I stay home. I come to the office. I like being where I'm comfortable. I just was never comfortable there. So I said, I just want to go home. So when we left the hotel and on the way to the airport was like this wave of relief. And I was like, okay, step 1, get to the airport. Like, all right, we'll get to the airport, get on the plane. And I ended up sleeping for a little bit. That was the plane ride back from Hong Kong to London. So it was like 13 hours. And I slept for a bit, not much. And then we get to London, but we had like a 7-hour layover in London. Now, because you fly business class, you get to go in the lounge, these really nice lounges and stuff. And it was cool because they had showers in the lounge. So I was able to like shower and like feel better about myself. But I never actually slept in the lounge, which I probably should have forced myself to. But I had to do a bunch of work. I was catching up on emails and things like that. We were emailing back and forth with the factory about stuff we made comments on and things like that. And like the last hour we were in the lounge in London, I ended up just like it caught up to me. And it was just like my body was just exhausted. And I started feeling really nauseous, really dizzy, like fuck. And Steve's like, all right, man, let's go down to the gate, because they're probably going to be boarding soon. And I was like, I literally thought I was just going to throw up everywhere. Like I felt awful. And I was just like, I'm getting on this plane. I said, I can't run in the bathroom because I was like, if I miss this flight, I'm gonna be pissed. So I had my phone. I was playing a game on my phone, just trying to like keep my focus till they called us on the plane. It felt like forever, but they finally called our group, like, because we're early in business class. We got on the plane like right away. And I get on there and I sat in that seat and I put my head against the pod wall and I was out. And the next thing I know is Steve is throwing the pillow and the blanket at me. And I slept through takeoff, like all that we were in the air for a good half hour before you can like actually get up and do stuff. So I was out. He threw the pillow and blanket. I couldn't make the pod bed fast enough. Like once you're in the air, you can like recline your bed and like put the thing down and like make your bed. Literally made it as fast as I could, threw the blanket over me, and I was out, like out. And it felt like so good to like finally sleep. And I slept for a good while. And, it was only 6 hours back, but I'm pretty sure I slept for like 5 of them. I woke up and put on a movie, and it's like I was just watching the time on the flight monitor, like, half hour from your destination, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, like landing and like getting into like Boston was like such a relief. And then like I'd never been so happy to like be in Rhode Island. And then like got home, saw my wife and kids. It was just, oh man, it was awesome. But yeah, no, I'm probably never going back to China again.
Yeah. What a story. Wow.
Yeah. again, productive, learned a lot, got to see a lot. I got to see some sights. Hong Kong was pretty cool. Had a really nice steak dinner last night. I was there. Saw cool stuff. But it was just, I wish it was under different circumstances. It was just my body. Had I gone to China when I was at Hasbro when I was younger, and saw what it was all about, I think I would have been able to get used to it. But I've never flown anywhere further than California. It's I've gone Caribbean islands and things like that, but I've never had to deal with jet lag that's a 12-hour in the future kind of thing. So it was rough, and my body just did not take well to it. So yeah.
All right. Hey, we got Master Son 42 here with
Whoa!
5 free POA podcast memberships. I saw Art G got one of them. Didn't see the rest, but Master Son, thank you very much, man. Much
Master Son, you are a kind sir.
He is. He's an okay person. We got Blue Jay Entertainment. Thanks for the super chat. There's a secret release of a version 3 Eclipse. She comes styled like an old school pinup gal. That would actually be kind of cool.
That's actually pretty cool.
You know who did really cool pinup action figures was DC Collectibles. You remember they did Wonder Woman and Poison Ivy and
they
Harley
did?
Quinn. Yeah, they did them as pinup models. They were I think they were 7-inch scale. They were a little big, but they were really cool. Well done figures.
That's actually not a bad idea. Pinup girl, Action Force pinup girl.
Yep,
I like it.
Thank you, Tony. We got Robert Diaz with the super chat. Thank you, Robert. It's okay, Bobby. The creator of Sonic started in porn.
Hey, man, you can't turn down work at some points.
Yeah.
I don't discriminate from people that work in the porn industry. Gotta make a living.
Thank you, Robert. Brian Lacey. Wow, very generous. Thank you, Brian.
Wow, thank you.
He says, sorry I'm late. Wanted to drop in and show some love. Thank you very much, Brian. I think Brian's going to be at DFW.
Cool.
I think, he was on Ninja stream last night. We got crazy.
Anyone watching that's going to DFW, just put DFW in the chat. I want to see how many people are going.
That'd be cool. Yeah, DFW is in the chat. In the meantime, Crazy Sith became a channel member. Thank you. Stay tuned for the after show. I'm going to fire that up a few minutes after we end here. Mython the Python. Here's the question everyone wants to know. What is the purchase limit per person at the booth for the convention exclusive Bone Collector?
Well, I was struggling with this one. Because of sort of the golden ticket, exclusiveness of it. I was like, I don't know, people are going to want to increase their chances of getting the one of the 100 variants. So part of me is don't do a limit. Don't do a limit at all. Just let people go nuts. And it's you know what? I did say that this is a convention exclusive. This isn't something that we're putting online. If I have some left after the convention circuit through the rest of the year, they will go up by the end of the year on Valaverse.com, which I think we should have some left, but you never know, man. People might just go nuts over this thing. We have about 4 or 5 shows throughout the rest of the year, so you never know. And there's some pretty big shows, but yeah, I'm leaning towards no limit, but I'll iron that out as we get closer to the show.
Cool. Looks like we got about 24 DFWs in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad. Thank you, Mython. Sam the Newsman. Sam Newsman. You can't put the in there. Sam Newsman with the super chat. Thank you, Sam. He says, you both are my heroes. Love ya. # nominate Newsman. That's right. Go to Sam Newsman's Instagram, find the link, click it, and vote for Sam. You got to give me more info. I forget the name of the radio station, but vote Sam Newsman for best in, I think, Richmond.
Cool.
Yeah. Thank you, Sam. I voted a few times.
I'm going to go get an adult beverage real quick.
Yeah, go for it. Hambone. Thank you, Hambone, for the very generous super chat. I appreciate that very much. And then, let's see here. John Garrett. When did Bobby have time to get the Nemesis Immortal prototype pics for LaserPants? It wasn't Bobby. When he comes back, we'll talk about it. But that was not Bobby. That was I actually just messaged the person that sent it to me. But they're in China, so they're probably still asleep. They're probably about to get up in the morning. Let's see here. Flipper Frank will be happy. Fred F., you were going to go, but you won't be able to make it. That's too bad, man. I'm sorry. Soul Brother says, since there is no limit, it's best if I get mine Friday. Then there's plenty. The entire production run will not even be at DFW. So I think there's going to be plenty there. It's not going to sell out. Georgie's going to Joe Atlanta. Okay. No one cares. Okay. We're not going to Joe Atlanta. Not this time. All right. You almost done there, Bobby? Because I got a question for you. I'm sorry, Analog Toys. I wish you could be there. Next year, man. 2025 is the year of Analog Toys at conventions here in the States. What are you drinking?
Jack Honey and Ginger, my go-to. I wanted something different. I was craving that honey mead wine that I drink, and I thought I had a bottle here, and I don't. I must have finished it. So that's all
right. So I got this question real quick. Let me. I want to start something. Let me get back.
I thought I saw my father-in-law in the chat, and I'm like, man, I hope he wasn't there for the porn comic story because I don't think he's ever heard that before.
I didn't see Barry in there, but okay.
I saw him in there before, but
John Garrett said, when did Bobby have time to get the Nemesis Immortal prototype pics for LaserPants?
Listen, Ryan posted that just before I went to China. I was not in China yet when Ryan posted that. For all of you thinking that I was the leak, I was not the leak.
Did you see anything in production for Hasbro?
I didn't. No. So the factory that some of my stuff is at, they have 4 different factories. One factory is doing the Vanguard, one factory is doing the figures, and then they have 2 other factories. And one of those factories is dedicated to Hasbro stuff, so they would not show us, which I totally understand. Not that I wouldn't even want to see their shit anyway.
I thought that oh, okay.
But it's not like when I say Hasbro stuff, you guys are going to be like, oh, he's, like classified stuff. No. Do you know how much stuff Hasbro makes? Like kid product? You have to remind people that Hasbro makes kid product, not just collector stuff. So when I say they do Hasbro stuff, they do an absurd amount of their kid product and probably product for all their lines. So, Yeah.
We got Ransom 009 became a channel member. Thank you, Ransom 009. Stay tuned for the after show. And then you haven't waited on this, Bobby, and you don't have to. But Rachel Salinas asked, LaserPants, are you still dealing with adversity caused by Diaper Island? Well, I'll say that the video that he copyright struck is not back up yet, but I believe it will be soonish. But obviously he's not communicating with me, and he has not responded to the emails from that YouTube, because YouTube is like a go-between. He has not released the copyright strikes on Instagram. So we're not going to let up. We're going to keep punching, figuratively speaking. Did you want to?
Yeah, I have to. So I was delirious in China trying to follow this madness that was going on because, we're in group chats together on Facebook. So it's like, I'm trying to catch up with it while I'm like trying to not lose my mental state of mind, trying to sleep, this and that. I'm like, what is going on? But stuff is happening so fast that I can't like keep up with it, because I'm over there and it's just, everything's going on. So it's like each time I look, like there's like a new revelation. Like it's like, all right, this happened. It started out as he, Ryan got Viper Island. Like the first thing happened. Then it was like one thing after the other, and then all of a sudden it's like, then his IG gets taken down. Then he's attacking Chad, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, this is not cool. Like this is someone abusing like this loophole, basically, which
right.
obviously now is not like, I don't want to say it's not an issue. It's just that it seems like he kind of got caught with the hand in the cookie jar kind of thing. Now, what I thought was so impressive, and this is what I love about the collecting community, is when like the camaraderie and that like you messed with one of us and now you got all of us kind of thing. It was just like seeing everyone come together to support Ryan and Chad, and then V Conley and Blue Serendipity. It was so impressive, but also like such a cool feeling to like see that, like when someone was legitimately doing something wrong. And listen, he knows he was doing something wrong. We all know he was doing something wrong. Like he was striking posts on your IG that had absolutely nothing to do with him. This is also a guy that has clearly taken people's interviews, spliced them. Like it's dirty. Like it's really dirty. It's some dirty shit. Yep. And again, what is crazy is like now I didn't see any of this directly, but I wonder like how this all went down. But there was a lot of talk of like, how there's people that don't like me, don't like 3POA, don't like our group, but hate him. And it was like, we found common ground. Like, I know we don't get along, but I really hate that guy. So like, we're cool now. And then seeing like, I bet they saw like our community kind of come and say, no, stop this guy. And then, I think he's almost at a loss of 1,000 subs, which is pretty awesome to see people come together and realize when things are wrong. Like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. This is wrong. And it was just like,
real quick, I do want to say that for if you are a channel member of or a Patreon member of Analog Toys, Tony did a Patreon only video breaking down kind of how devastating that is for a channel with 20,000 subs to take a drop like that of 1,000 subs. That's really bad for the channel.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So it's like, I think there's some common ground. Now there's definitely, there was definitely a group out there with, a two-faced fuck that I thought was a friend, that, is like the one person that is like, maybe not supporting, Viper Island, but, enjoying like what is going on. It's like, that's typical from this two-faced guy. But, it was just impressive. It was impressive seeing us all kind of come together. And, again, it was just like, I was like late to the party, like seeing like what is going on. It's like, by the time I came home, I was so burnt out. So I'm trying to catch up on like 8 days worth of like shit that went down, and so much shit happened. And it's like, I came home right away, had to get ready for, the show that I was doing. So it's like, I was keeping up with everything, even though it's like, I wasn't in the thick of it, but it was just like, I gotta say, you fans, you guys are awesome. Like the support you showed Ryan and Chad was absolutely amazing. It was like the stuff of legend, like seeing it was amazing. So I want to thank you guys for supporting them, and for doing the right thing and calling out sort of, these injustices and because it's like, again, it's like, people are, stop with the drama. Like, no. We didn't seek this out, or Ryan didn't seek this out. Chad didn't seek this out to just be a part of drama. They were attacked. They were absolutely attacked.
Yeah.
They were attacked over false stuff. And then he cries like he was harassed. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, but it's just like, again, it's like, you see the track record. Like, he got struck for stealing an interview. He legitimately stole an interview, cropped out the people giving the interview, and made it his own. He put a movie up that's not his property. And it's like, that's like, dude, like anyone that supports his channel, it's just like, look at the track record. Like, those two things alone actually happened. Whoever that group was that did that interview, they struck him. Like, that happened. That's out there. That's in pen on the internet. Like, that happened. So it's like it's not like this is like a first offense for him. This dude's been doing it forever. You know, so it's just like it's unfortunate. Like what happened? It's like Ryan lost his Instagram account over false accusations. Like, you know, that's the sad part. It's just like, you know, you struck stuff that had nothing to do with you. But you know, again, it's just like, I think he, you know, he barked up the wrong tree, poked the wrong bear. Like, look, and it's just like, he had that 20K giveaway going on and doesn't anymore. So it's just like, you messed with these guys, and like, all you had to do was not do what you did, and you did it. And now it's like, listen, actions have consequences. I did see that he actually gave someone credit for something, which I believe is the first time he's ever did it. Like, you know, from what I've been told. So who knows? Maybe if you can change and I can change, everybody can change.
But I want to be clear. I wasn't upset. None of this would have happened if it was just, oh, he took my picture and photoshopped it, whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was false copyright strikes on Instagram and YouTube, especially.
Yeah.
That was a step too far.
Yeah.
That's a line you don't cross.
Yep.
Especially if you're uploading the G.I. Joe movie to get 8,000 subs.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one breaking copyright laws, not me.
Yeah.
You're just mad because I made fun of you and you can't handle it. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, let's move on. Holy crap, ramen toy. I don't know how much 250 Hong Kong dollars is, but it's a lot. Thank you so much, Ace. He says, sorry to hear about your ordeal with the travel to China. Glad you got to see and experience it nonetheless. 5 hours drive is no joke. Jet lag is no joke. Myself, just back from Vegas. Anyways, good that you are back in your comfort zone. Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Ace. Cheers.
I'll be in Vegas at the end of June.
Yeah, right after DFW.
Yeah, baby. Because I got tickets to UFC 303 to see Conor McGregor fight Michael Chandler, baby.
Damn.
Woo!
I am jealous. That's going to be a lot of fun.
My first time in Vegas. I'm psyched.
How many nights are you going to be there?
4.
That's kind of a long time in Vegas.
That's what I've been told. I mean, so we got the UFC fight one night. We my wife got tickets to the Michael Jackson hologram concert, which I'm excited about.
Cool.
So that takes up 2 of them, and then, you know, listen, I want to go play. I want to sit at a poker table at the old Binion's Horseshoe where they started the World Series of Poker. I can't wait to do that. I want to play at the Bellagio. So yeah, it's, you know, there's some stuff I want to do. Hopefully I make up the money that I spent on the UFC tickets, because they were fucking expensive.
I bet, dude. There's a White Castle like right across from Binion's now.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Ooh. All the good food in Vegas, and I'm gonna go to White Castle.
I know, right? Hey, thank you, Ace. Thank you very much, man. That was very nice of you. Kato's here. Kato's collection.
It's Kato.
Thank you, Kato, for the super chat. He says, here's $5 for no reason whatsoever. Well, thank you very much. Much appreciated, man. 49er Brian is a channel member now. Thank you, 49er Brian, for becoming a channel member, supporting the channel. I appreciate that. Uh-oh. You did see him in the chat, because here is Barry Rappaport with the super chat. Thank you, Barry. He says, of course I had to Google Mike Honcho, and he actually is a porn star from Brazil.
Jesus. Is he really? Huh. Ellen's going to be like, what are you Googling?
Oh, Barry, delete your internet history quick.
This is going to be a conversation at the barbecue on Monday. Oh man.
That's right. 3-day weekend. All
yeah.
Right. You want to, speaking of 3-day weekend, it is Memorial Day, but you are having a... It's not
a sale. We're not doing a sale because we just did, the Wounded Warehouse sale, and we did a sale before that, but I basically took usually I had kept like a case of things just for shows. So it's like some stuff that's sold out on the site for a while now. I had like, a case and a half of, but I was saving them for some of the future shows, but I'm like, with everything coming out, Bone Collector, Series 5, Vanguard stuff, I will have an exclusive for Terrificon. I will have an exclusive for another show that I haven't announced yet that is actually going to be the biggest show we've ever done.
Cool.
And I was like, you know what? Let me just make these available to everyone. I know people are still looking for a lot of these items. Let me just put them out. No sense holding them back. So that's what we're going to do. So for Memorial Day, we are putting up a bunch of items. 10, I believe it's 10 items. 10 items. They are on the social media post. These 10 items will go up on Monday, sometime before noon. I'm just going to put the stock up sometime before noon. And then, so then you guys will get a chance of kind of getting some of these sold out retired items. And, but this is the absolute last time, because this is it. Once they're sold out, and we don't have much of them. So, so hopefully it gives you guys an opportunity to get some of those figures like Kill Switch and Gemini that have been sold out for a while. Some gear packs. There's some good stuff in there. I had some signed Desert Rats that we'll put out there as well. So hopefully you guys get a chance to go get them. And listen, be good to the other collectors out there, man. Don't go and grab like 5 of something. Like, just grab one of something. Give people a chance to get some stuff. It's like, listen, scalpers are going to scalp. I dealt with a dickhead scalper at the show this past weekend, and they're just not cool people, man. They're not cool people. So it's like, listen, just be kind to the other collectors out there. Grab what you need. Don't grab 100 of them, or like I said, if don't grab 5 Kill Switches. Like, grab one. Let other people get some. Okay.
Yeah. We got the Alleviator member for 8 months. Thank you. Tumblr/Vanguard side-by-side comparison.
Is it the Tumblr out yet? I don't, it's not out yet.
I think it's going up for pre-order soonish.
All right, pre-order. I mean, listen, we said, like, no one knows how big it is. I mean, his figures are also like almost 8 inches tall. I mean, we showed the Vanguard next to his tank. We showed it next to the Vamp. I don't know what more you want us to show. Scales out there.
Yeah. Are you planning on getting that Tumblr?
No, they definitely they botched the design. So the way the Tumblr, like from the side, it tapers down to the front. It like still tapers, but it's a hard shoot up for the cockpit. And you could see like in the front where there were these pistons that attached to the tires, and then inside they made them like one solid piece that connects to the front. If you pull up a picture, I could show you what I'm talking about. But they really jacked up, and it's like, Batman sat really low in it. It's a very low profile vehicle, but it's like you saw Lucius Fox sitting. He's like sitting up straight like this, and like the seats are very high. And when you see it from the side, they really jacked up the profile of it. And you took a really, really cool vehicle and you jacked it up. Now, listen, they jacked up the 89 Batmobile too, to the point where Ace had to do, the CAG set.
I got my CAG set in, but I got to put that together.
And it's like I don't have the 89 Batmobile. From what I've been told, it's just like a shell. It's like a 2-part mold, like boom. There's not much to it. His vehicles are very basic. And when I saw that tumbler, it looked very, very basic.
Yep.
So if someone gets one, they want to show me, cool. But from what I saw in the pictures, there's some aesthetic liberties they took that I was like, ooh, that's not
definitely
cool. But I tell you what, I just got my shipping notification for my ramen racer, so I'm very excited for that one. My black one is shipping first, and that's on its way. I can't wait to put Pandora in the black ramen racer. Ace, I may be using the ramen racer for some promo shots, if you don't mind, when I show some future figures. So that's my thought on the tumbler.
Cool. Ace says there's another 112 tumbler from another manufacturer. Is that the model kit one that they're doing?
No.
Like the one? Yeah, I saw that.
Well, I saw they're
way better.
They're doing 2 versions of the tumbler. They're doing the black one and then the camo version, right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Got it.
Chad, it's Chad. Thank you, Chad, for the super chat. Here's 20 dimes for Pampers Peninsula.
Oh, Chad, I love you. You're awesome.
Hashtag FBI.
Oh,
Thank
man.
You, Chad.
Chad, I think we need another session soon. You should have me on the show again soon.
There you go. You know we will.
Yeah.
Jim, member for 8 months. Thank you very much. Wrong is wrong, and I always call people on BS. Thank you, Jim. Absolutely. And I mean, like, everyone was really stepping up and calling this out.
Yeah.
They blanketed Instagram and, Facebook and YouTube and everything. They blanketed it in just this anti-Viper Island stuff.
Yep.
He was trying to suppress it, and he totally Streisand affected himself.
Yeah, he turned off comments on all his videos, and
yep.
Yeah. I mean,
never should have struck me, dude.
Listen, it's just like you get to the point where it's like, listen, I've dealt with my fair share of trolls, and it's like there's some that I'm dealing with now, some, maybe legal issues, but it's just like, dude, don't fuck with me. I'm sitting here trying to run a fucking business. It's like, stop, like, just because you have no life and you want to, be a fucking idiot. It's just like, we're not started. Have we ever started trouble? We've never started trouble. It's like, oh, you guys are toxic and drama filled. No. Those people fucking come to us. But it's like, it's kind of like that, oh, well, just don't punch back, be the bigger man. No, man, if you're walking down the street and someone slaps you in the face, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Like, oh, you slapped me in the face? Hey, man, don't do that. That was wrong. Or like, oh, why did he do that? Why did he slap me in the face? No, man. No. My wife's always like, why do you always like go at people harder than like they came at you? And I was like, don't come at me in the first place. I'm not going to fucking... I'm not going to start anything with somebody. It's like when I have like hockey games and shit like that. And if I save a puck and a dude, the thing I hate most, a goalie saves it, covers the puck. And then you got to get that hack in. Like you're going to loosen the puck from my fucking glove and like score. No, it's just a dickhead move. And this dude did it. And I fucking, my stick went right up his fucking crotch. Went down. Like, yeah, I got a penalty for it.
Yeah.
But it was just like, dude, like, I tell you right now, that dude's going to go to the bench. Yeah, maybe I got 2 minutes and, we had to fight off a penalty. But that dude went to the bench and he said, fuck, man, I shouldn't have hacked that goalie's glove. Because now I'm sitting here, my balls hurt. It's like, don't. Because I will, what was the move? Oh, it was in Goodfellas when they're, where Ray Liotta's talking about Joe Pesci's character. It's like, you come at Tommy with fists, he'll come at you with a bat. You come at Tommy with a knife, he'll come at you with a gun. And it's like, if you come at him with a gun, you better hope you kill him because he's going to come at you with anything he needs. Like, that's how I feel. Like, if you come after me, if you come at me for any reason whatsoever, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be even. I'm going to come at you 10,000 times harder, whether that's legal or like, listen, you know, there's a reason why I employ full-time attorneys. It's like when you have a business, like you need to deal with stupid shit. So it's just like you got that, but it's just like, listen, don't. Why are you starting trouble? Like, why? Because we're opinionated on a podcast. Ooh, big fucking deal. Like, you know, just don't be an idiot. Fuck
You
around
struck
and
the
find
wrong
out,
people,
you know?
dude. You struck the wrong people.
It's just,
Let it go. Release the copyright strikes.
You know?
Yep. Mython the Python, thank you for the super chat. He says, carpet bomb, the a-hole, atoll, hashtag FBI. Thank you, Mython. Much appreciated.
Here's my take on it. And it's like, I wish I could like almost like talk to him and tell him this. Like, not as a way of like, you need to take the L, but it's just like, listen, like he's dealing with a lot of sub losses right now. Like if he came out with a video and said like it almost like an apology. If he came out and said, yeah, I took that interview. Yeah, I posted the G.I. Joe movie. Those were wrong. Those were absolutely wrong. Yes, what I did to Ryan and Chad, totally wrong. And I'm owning up to that. I'm going to turn over a new leaf. I'm going to do things different because I feel like for the G.I. Joe community is so great that I want to make great content for them. And I want to get to making good content for them. I want to just apologize for what happened, but I want to get past it. I'm telling you right now, if he did that video, do you know how many views that video would get? It would get an unbelievable amount of videos for him and would do such great things for his channel. He'll never do it though.
No.
But it's just like, dude, if you did it, you do one video that will get you a crazy amount of views because everyone will be talking about, dude, did you see the Viper Island apology? Did you see like he came out and acknowledged it? He would get a bunch of goodwill, probably get all those subs back. And then it was like, then he can get back to like making his content. But now he's making his content with this dark cloud over him right now. And it's just like, you're fighting an uphill battle. It's like you're running uphill while the wind's at you. It's like, just no, man, run on flat ground with no wind. Like, just get back to doing it. It's like, I'm not trying to say like, like, no, make, my side won, but it's just more of a, like, it's advice to like, for him to fix like his channel. Like he could get back to being a bigger channel again and getting views and getting more subs. Like he does one video, just one video. That's it. And it would change the whole landscape of things. The whole landscape.
He'll never do it.
He'll never do it. He'll never do it.
He's too much.
He'll never do it. But, it's so easy. And it's like, yeah, I know it's a hard pill to swallow. Like, because he thinks, oh, I did nothing wrong. Of course, you think you did nothing wrong. But at the end of the day, you sit there in your head, you did something wrong. You did it with the G.I. Joe movie. You did it with that group that did that interview. Like, you've done it. You've done it. You know what you did. You did it with Ryan's picture. Like, but it's just like when have you ever seen like someone like fuck up real bad or get like caught like that and then like apologize? No one's ever done it. But it's like, if you do it, like, you will get so much goodwill for doing that. And I'm sitting here on our show trying to give this guy advice on the right thing to do and trying to like help his channel. But it's just like, it'll fix the problem. Like, it would absolutely fix the problem.
He lacks the capacity to do what's right.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Suka. Thank you for the super chat, Suka. He says he only lost 1,000 subs because the other 19,000 subs couldn't complete the unsubscribe CAPTCHA. Because they're bots.
Yeah, it's like, how many of those subs were bought? It's like, that's, you don't know that,
Yep.
So.
Cosmic Gladiator, thank you for being a member for 8 months. He says, hashtag we stand with Ryan, hashtag we stand with Chad, hashtag FVI. Thank you, Cosmic Gladiator.
I have to wish someone a happy birthday real quick.
Oh, okay.
He sent me a message. He's been a follower on Instagram of mine for a while. He did ask this request, so I'm going to give him a shout out. Age of Relic NYC.
Oh yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
He asked the same of me and Ninja, and that was last night on Ninja's stream as well. So.
Oh man, so I'm not important like you asked everyone else. Man, why'd I even read that now? I thought I was doing something special, like you reached out to me, but no, it turns out you were just hitting everyone, seeing what's stuck. I'll get one of them.
Right on. Let's see here. We got Ramen Toy with the member for 9 months. Woo. Mandalay Bay Michael Jackson show is awesome. Enjoy, but the price of food is crazy.
Yeah, I bet. I'm psyched for that Michael Jackson show, man. I'm telling you right now. They do Smooth Criminal, I'm gonna lose my shit. That's my favorite Michael Jackson song. They better do Smooth Criminal and Dirty Diana. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
He better be taking requests. That hologram better listen to me.
A says price of food is crazy. It is, man. And years ago, food in Vegas was like, it was super cheap because the casinos made all their money on gambling, you know?
Yeah.
You can go to like these really nice buffets or these really nice restaurants, but now it's like
because Vegas became like a family vacation spot. It used to just be degenerates. And it was fun when it was just degenerates just doing their thing. Now it's like, let's bring the family, make it like a resort.
No, it's kind of back to degeneracy now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a family vacation spot anymore. It's definitely flipped back.
I remember when I was working at this law firm, and my boss, he was a total degenerate, and he went to Vegas, and he was telling me, like, so in Vegas, I guess there are these people that on the street that have the signs that say girls direct to your room, and then like a number. Well, he said that when he was there, the guy had a shirt that said girls direct to your room and the phone number.
Oh yeah.
And he asked the one of the guys for a shirt, and he wouldn't give him a shirt. So that was the one. So he told me, he's like, bro, I'm going to Vegas. I'm getting one of those shirts. He goes, I don't care how much money I got offer the guy. I'm getting one of those shirts. It's like, you're not going to get one of those shirts. When he got back from the trip, he calls me. He goes, come in my office. I go in his office. He's got like a button-down shirt on. He unbuttons it and opens it up like Superman. It says girls direct to your room with the number. I was like, you got a shirt? He goes, yeah, bro. I had to pay $100 for this shirt.
So when you walk down the street in Vegas, and there's not a lot of places you can walk down the street anymore because it's all huge casinos. You walk inside, and anyway, there used to be just dudes out there, and they'd flip these like business cards, and they just put them right in front of you, trying to get you to take these business cards. You take the card. Well, it's an escort service,
of course,
right? And most of the cards have naked ladies on them, right? So the first time I go, I'm like, oh, cool, thanks, and I'm taking all these cards. I'm with my wife, right? I'm taking all these cards, and then I'm like, I'm going to buy, you go in the casinos, in the gift shops, and they have all these decks of cards, right? Use decks of cards because I think they use like a deck of card once in the casino, and then it goes in the gift shop.
Yeah.
So I'm buying decks of cards for my buddies back home, and I'm opening them, and I'm sliding in these naked lady business cards, right?
Oh, smart man.
And so I'm like, oh yeah, I just got back from Vegas. Here's a pack of cards to all my friends. I guess one of my buddies pulled out a deck of cards to play cribbage with his in-laws.
Oh, damn. That's awesome.
And I had stuffed some naked lady cards in there, and he's like dealing. He's like, well, oh my God. They were all... Oh, I got him in trouble. That was great.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go grab a bunch of those cards. I'm going to bring them home. I'm going to throw them in with Valaverse orders.
Whenever you recognize someone's name, just throw it in there.
Right? Yeah. Speaking of Valaverse orders, I gotta say this real quick because my fans are the best fans out there. So we switched over to a new Shopify platform in November, and it is now May. From November to May, we just hit our 10,000th order.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Like 10,000 orders since November. That's nuts. Like that's absolutely nuts. So
that's crazy.
Thank you to all of you guys. I love you. You guys are the best.
Absolutely. Extreme Roundtree Podcast. Thank you very much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thomas Goes Nostalgic. Thanks for the super chat. Bobby, welcome back. Legend of the White Dragon 2-pack crushed it. I sent you his review of that. I don't know if you watched it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet.
Okay. He says Ryan got your back. Got blocked for basically being in your chat. Yeah, Viper Island's blocking everyone, man. He's
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas Goes Nostalgic.
Yeah, thanks,
Great
Thomas.
channel.
Man, listen, man, the like I've been seeing some of the reviews for the White Dragon stuff. Man, you guys love that item. Like that's huge. Like I'm so happy that you guys love that item. You know, Power Ranger fans are so excited for it. You know, I know you guys have been waiting for the movie. I know we all are. Telling you, the movie's gonna come out. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, it's cool that we got this item out and that you guys really dig it.
Yeah, they're really good. The likeness on Tommy is spot on.
I saw some people
not Tommy. Sorry.
Yeah. Seeing the customs like people are doing, like people put that head on Power Rangers, people put that on Action Force stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I need another set. I'm gonna order one. All right, thank you, Thomas Goes Nostalgic. We got excuse me, Sam Newsman. Thank you for the super chat. He says, reminder, do not wish anyone a happy Memorial Day. No one ever says that. He says it's no different than saying, hey, that was a hell of a funeral. Honor soldiers correctly.
That's the bad thing about Memorial Day. It's like, that's why I wrote in that post. Like, you got to remember what Memorial Day is all about. It's not like, oh, it's a day off. Oh, barbecues. Oh, online sales. Like, you got to remember like what this day is about. Like this day is about a loss of life. And it's unfortunate that we as a shitty society like turned into like a celebratory day that
buy a new mattress
that people don't even acknowledge. That's the sad part. So, you know, listen, you can, but I'm not saying don't have hamburgers and hot dogs. I'm going to have hamburgers and hot dogs on Monday. I'm just saying that take a moment and just remember, even if you don't have anyone that served or didn't know anyone that served, just take a moment and be like, wow, the gravity of the amount of lives lost, like for freedom. Like these are people that have fought in other countries for your freedom. And that's impactful. So just remember that.
Thank you, Bobby.
Sure.
And thank you, Sam. Cato's Collection, another one. Thank you, Cato. He says, I appreciate Viper Island giving me meme material. There was a couple days where I would go on Instagram on my account that isn't banned, and I would only see Viper Island memes from tons of different people. It was awesome to see.
Well, it's like, I think he just thought he was dealing with you.
Yeah.
But it's like he was dealing with you, Chad, Tony, Michael, Ninja. It was just like, and the rest of our community, our fans. But just like you're dealing with channels that have 100,000 subs, 20,000 subs, 70,000 subs. Like that. He was probably just like, oh, damn. You know, that's
I went on World Class Bullshitters. They have almost 200,000, you know?
Shit, yeah. It's just like, whoa. Like, it's almost like you go, you leave a bar, you want to fight a guy, and then all of a sudden, like, you look behind him, he's got like 10 big dudes with him. You're like, ooh, okay. Sorry.
You got the beat down.
Yeah.
It's Chad. Thank you for the super chat, Chad. He says, I appreciate Viper Island for those several hundred subs he lost and I gained. Suck it, Swiper. Yeah, we had a nice little bump. We got nearly 400 new subs here. So thank you.
I mean, listen, it's not, Valaverse level channel, but
your channel's doing
I'm
awesome.
Sorry,
right
I had to throw it in there.
No, that's okay, because I checked out your Social Blade.
Listen,
it's taken off, man.
Yeah, I mean, Matt is doing a phenomenal job with my channel. It's like I'm at the point where now guys, like, listen, I'll be full transparency. Not me dealing with. I'm not responding to comments. I literally just look up my app and I see where the channel is doing, because I'm like, I can't manage everything. Like I need to get to designing. Like, let me focus on designing and working on toys, so Matt does a great job of managing the channel, and, he comes up once a month. We film some great content. We always have a blast. And, that, like, you know, he was telling me like that, dude, that Target video, like, I was like, for real, people like me just going around Target talking about like Gabby's dollhouse and shit like that. I think the video is at like 45 or 55,000 views. I'm
Oh
like,
no,
holy shit.
no! I thought it was more than that now.
Oh, is it? I thought it was 54 this morning when I looked, but it was gaining like 3,000 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, holy crap. Like this is awesome. Like, it's cool to see, you know, it's like, I trusted Matt. Like, I knew Matt was going to do a good job. And it's like, he said, listen, I know what I'm doing. It's like, listen, I definitely tell him like, look, we're going to, you know, we should do this or try this. But, you know, I take his lead and he does a great job. He does Toy Fed's channel. And they have an unbelievable channel. So it's just like,
doing great.
And it's like their channel is very different than mine. I'm a toy company, you know, but it's like, I'm also trying to give you guys content that is not what you would expect. Like, you know, it's like Valverse, oh, it's going to be all action force. No. I want to do stuff that you guys want to hear about. Like, I think that's why you guys love that Target video, is like, you know, I was at the show this past weekend. I had like 10 people come up to me like, hey man, I saw that Target video. That was really awesome. That was great insight. And it's like, okay, here I was thinking like, really, a Target video? But it's just like, that's the thing. And it's like, you know, and then going to Toy Vault and talking about, you know, some items that I worked on. And it's like, we kind of did like 3 videos. Like it was like that, all that was one day. It was Target, Toy Vault, and then, you know, the one today of me doing the unboxing. And listen, I get it. We were very prepared for people to get a little butthurt over this video today, you know, but it was just like, listen, I was just giving my take. Like, I'm not saying don't go buy the item. I said I wanted the item to be awesome. I did. So I bought it because I wanted it to be awesome. I wanted a G.I. Joe item to be awesome because I'm a G.I. Joe fan, and it wasn't awesome. But it's like, I pointed out things like, guys, like, I'm not like sitting here just trashing on it just for the sake of trashing on it. It's like,
listen,
I show you the neck does not move. Like, I show you that.
I've seen like hardcore classified fans even say they missed the mark with the soldier, but the diver guy is really cool.
I haven't opened him yet. I did buy him. I haven't opened him yet, but it's like, I'm so behind on opening stuff. But I wanted to open the soldier because like I was really looking forward to that. I saw the thing. I was like, yeah, that figure looks awesome. Yeah. But it's, you know, the channel's been great. You know, it's cool. It's like, here I am like, oh man, like I think when Matt took over, I was at like, I don't know, like 5,000 or 6,000 subs. Now it's like we're almost at 10, and it's like getting the 10 to be cool. Maybe I'll do some sort of cool giveaway at 10. But you know, seeing it grow and seeing Matt's hard work like really pay off and seeing the channel grow is pretty awesome, because there's no other toy company that's really like doing YouTube. And I wanted to do something different, you know? And it's like, listen, it's like, you know, Randy from NECA, it's like, you know, I hate Brian Flynn, but it's like, dude, all like guys that are a personality, that are the face of a company, it's like, you could do this. Like you should do it. Cause it was like, people want to hear the take. Cause I said to Matt, I'm like, dude, so many people have done toy store, like, you know, tours and things like unboxing, things like that. He's like, yeah, but you're a toy professional. Like, you make the toy, so people want to hear your insight. I'm like, I guess, you know, I was like, I'm just
remember I hit you up that day. Like, yeah. I watched it that morning. I finished my coffee and the video ends, and I'm like, pick up my phone. I text you. I'm like, that's the best video you've uploaded to your channel.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, just your perspective, your insight into the toy industry and being in the toy aisle is wildly interesting, and the audience loves it.
I mean, if you guys dig it, I'll keep doing it. You know, it's just, and that's the thing. It's like, you do a video, it gauges what people want to see. And like, we're trying to, when Matt comes up here and films, we think about non-Action Force stuff. I put Action Force stuff on social media all the time. We want to give you stuff on the YouTube channel that's a little something different. So it's like, we filmed videos of me talking about a vintage toy line, a couple of vintage toy lines. You know, we have me talking about now I can't wait till we post this one, because I went on a bit of a tirade, but we filmed a video talking about kind of a hot topic in collecting. And it's like, I don't pull any punches with that, because I don't want you guys, like, I don't want you guys to watch a video and feel like it's scripted or like, you know, like you're watching a Hasbro live stream. Like, I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to feel like you're getting a genuine outlook on it. And it's like, if you don't like it, cool, man. That's fine. I'm not saying like at the video, you have to take what I say as gospel. Listen, man, you don't like it. It's just like even with the video today, you know, it's just like some of the comments, people are like, oh, all mad about it. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, oh, you're ripping on Hasbro again. It's like, hey, man, you watched it. Views equal money. So thanks, bud. You know, that's what I think that's what they don't understand. It's like, okay, you watched, a view equals money for me. My channel's monetized. Also, you commenting is engagement. Therefore, engagement YouTube uses with the algorithm to build a channel. And then it's going to recommend more of my videos to you because you engage with the video. It's like, so your shit comment just got you more recommendations of my videos. So fuck you for doing that. It's just like, that's the stupidity of the haters. Is like, guys, if you don't like me, don't watch the video, because if you watch the video for more than like 10 seconds, I get a view for it. And then views equal money. And then if you feel like I'm going to write a shit comment, okay, you writing that shit comment is engagement. Whether it's positive, YouTube doesn't know if the comment's positive or negative. They look at it as engagement. So they're going to tell you, oh, he commented on this video. He must like this video. Let's recommend more Valaverse videos to you. So you're always going to know when my videos come up. That's your fault. It's not my fault. That's your fault.
That's why when someone, you know, in the past week or so, you know, I've gotten comments, I'm tired of the drama. Let's get back to toys. It's like, first of all, we're not going to get back to toys unless we do this drama, because he's going to keep striking my channel till it's gone. Second of all, you're getting recommended this video because it's the kind of stuff you click on.
Yep.
So if you don't like drama, stop watching drama.
Yeah. Guys, stop engaging. It's just like, I was dealing with this one troll one day. It was funny. I was just clapping back at him. He goes, you got a lot of time in your hands. I'm like, dude, it's 9 o'clock at night. I'm just sitting on the couch, like whatever. He's like, I'm only doing this because I keep getting notifications from you. Well, turn off notifications then, dickhead. Like, you're getting notifications because you're engaging. Stop engaging. You want to hurt? You want to hurt a channel? Don't engage. Don't watch. That's the only thing that's going to hurt a channel. You watching, you engaging, it makes me money. It makes me money. So please keep watching, keep engaging. I love it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Please keep doing it. That's what I should tell Matt. Matt, we should do a video about the stupidity of people engaging on YouTube videos. That's what we should do, because you even tell them and they're still going to engage. But like, I'm going to make a whole video explaining to people that if you watch the video, you give me money. If you write a comment, you give me engagement. Helps the YouTube algorithm. Guarantee you people will comment, this is a really stupid video. Well, you just done fucked up. You didn't get the whole message of this video. But hey, man, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
I don't think Matt's going to do that, but well, we'll see.
He's not. We'll see.
Curse of Fenrir, thank you for the super chat. He says, I heard people say Viper Island is a Hasbro copyright, the name, not the channel. Are they confusing this with Cobra Island? Any details?
I don't know. Listen, there's a lot of the Hasbro legal team doesn't know what they own most of the time. I mean, shit, they didn't know that they had Action Force and Steel Brigade till it was too late. So, you know, yeah.
Someone was saying Viper Island is a location in G.I. Joe lore.
Maybe it is. I can't remember, but I mean, that's Hasbro's fight to fight, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Curse of Fenrir. We got Thomas Goes Nostalgic, another one. Thank you, Thomas. I only go to Vegas to be degenerate.
Why else? Right. Exactly. I can't wait. I told my wife, I'm like, listen, you better have fun sitting by the pool. I'll see you at dinner.
Do you like dive bars?
I love dive bars. Love them.
There's a good dive bar off the strip. It's
love them.
The Double Down.
Ooh, Double Down. I like the name.
You got to go to the Double Down.
I just like I just want to. I love gambling. Like, and I was thinking. I was thinking to. I was talking to my friend who we went to China with, and I was like, you know what? I'm a little concerned about Vegas because I've never been, and I'm 41 years old, and by the time I go, I'll be 42, and it's like, am I too old for Vegas now? I'm like, is, 27-year-old Bobby or 25-year-old Bobby was an absolute gambling degenerate. Like, like I was going to Atlantic City like every other weekend and, playing cards in a weekly game, like 2 or 3 weekly games. And it's just like, am I just too old? Am I going to get there and be like an old man? He goes, no. He goes, 27 or 25-year-old Bobby's probably going to come out. I'm like, yes, I can't wait, baby.
They say that like they pump something in the air system to keep you up, when you're in the casino. It's true.
Okay.
They do something
really?
because when you're in the casino, you never see daylight because the way they have it structured. But
yeah,
I never get tired.
I mean, I think that's crazy. Just like because it's almost sensory overload. It's the lights, it's everything. It's you don't have time to get tired. Like it's all in your face. Like that's how I was in Atlantic City. It's like I could sit in the poker room in Atlantic City. I'll go sit down, start playing at like 9 o'clock, and it'll be 4 a.m. Like I remember totally like getting back to the hotel at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. after just playing for just like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Or playing in a tournament, just like, and time just flies by, especially when you're at the poker table. So, I think it's just, if you're into gambling, like, yeah, you don't have to worry about like getting tired.
All right. Just Jeff, thank you for the super chat. He says, Mr. Vala, Capo's Italian food and Speakeasy by the Mob Museum. Mob Museum is cool. I've been there.
Speakeasy, huh? Okay.
It's down by, the old strip downtown Vegas. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeff. Extreme Roundtable Podcast. Thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, enjoying the show as always. Bobby, thank you for Action Force. Looking forward to the Vanguard. I ordered both colors.
Thanks, man.
Awesome.
Thanks. Listen, if you're going to DFW, we might have a special announcement about the Vanguard. I'm just saying.
Cool.
Listen, again, it's just like I have more that I'm going to reveal at this panel than if you took every Joe Fest I was at and combined all the things that I revealed, it's probably going to be as much as what I'm going to reveal at one panel at DFW.
Oh man, I just got my Wednesday show topic.
Oh yeah.
Looks like Savage Crucible just showed a bunch of new stuff. Thank you, Tyler Lalone, for the pictures. That's very cool.
I just started opening my first one before the show.
They're awesome figures, aren't they?
Yeah. I was talking to Rob the other night, and I just told him I hadn't opened them yet. I love what they did with the butterfly joints.
Yeah.
The fact that it like, I'm gonna have to ask him who he stole that from. But
you know what it reminds me of? The butterfly joints? It reminds me of the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends design. They used to be really deep like this,
but it's not. He doesn't cut in the front.
Right.
He just wings out from the back. That's
how some of the figures did it.
I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know. Like his figures have a wider shoulder distance.
Yeah.
I don't know if this will work for Action Force. Maybe on a character like Atlas, I probably could have done this. I just don't think there's enough room in the torso for me to wing them out like that. But I'm definitely going to try.
Cool.
Because I like it. It's like, that's really interesting. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. And I think I've told Rob this before. Like, I wasn't a fan of the elbows and the knees. And you pointed out to me, that's the way NECA does it. I just think it elongates that elbow and knee area, and it looks weird to me. Because it's like, if you look at the thigh, when you look at anatomy, the inner part of the thigh rests lower than the outside part of the thigh. So you have this angle by the knee. When you do this kind of articulation, it makes those muscles even with each other. And to me, as like someone who knows anatomy, that looks odd to me. So that's why I think like the double knee, the way it's done on like Legends or Classified or Myline works better. It's interesting. It's just aesthetically, I don't really like it, but I think it works for these figures because they're not 100% humanoid.
Yeah.
Because they're reptiles and stuff. But listen, the paint is some of the best paint work I've seen on figures. Like they're really nice.
They look
really
nice.
Again, I've opened one figure, like just one, but I'm happy with what I'm seeing so far.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Thank you, Extreme Roundtable Podcast. Alan Kenny, thank you for the super chat. Is there a members only after show? There is. Yeah, stay tuned.
Oh shit, really? Damn. Holy crap, we've been at it for almost 3 hours.
You were given the longest winded answers ever. Okay.
Stop asking me. Listen, I haven't been on for 4 weeks. I had a lot to cover.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's get to these supers and we'll get over to the members only.
Fine.
All right. Alan Kenny, thanks for becoming a channel member. Much appreciated. Tim Taser, thank you for the super chat. Getting to see Series 5 at Danbury was awesome. Siege, Atlas, and Praetorian look amazing. Can't wait for my Robot Legion. And was there something pink?
Tim, I don't think I've done a show that you weren't at.
Right.
It's always great seeing you at shows.
Yeah, he travels to the shows, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim. Justin Collects, thank you for the super chat. The Bat in the Sun Instagram saw my post about my review of Legend of the White Dragon 2-pack and gave me a follow.
Nice, man.
Dude, that's all.
Nice.
They don't follow me.
Oh,
They should follow the 3POA podcast.
but what's funny is I'm pretty sure the owner of Resvani follows you and doesn't follow me.
He does. He followed 3POA podcast. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of funny.
Thank you, Justin Collects. Thomas Goes Nostalgic. Thank you for the super chat. Video of Bobby talking about Power of the Jedi line.
Dude, I want to. It got when I was talking about that during the the Toy Vault video. I was like, man, I could talk about I was thinking, I was like, man, we missed because what is it, the 25th anniversary of episode 1? Said, man, we could have done a video about that because I was at Toys R Us at midnight and I was the first person in line. I got there at 8 o'clock. I was in line for 4 hours. And I remember friends dropped me off. They're like, wait, you're going to Toys R Us for what? I'm like, dude, I'm just going to pick up these Star Wars figures. They're like, you loser. I don't care, man. I was literally and I was the first person in line for at least an hour before anyone showed up. And I remember when they opened the doors, the people behind me looked at the guys that were going to bum rush. And they said, he got here at 8 o'clock. Don't you dare go ahead of him. He goes in first. It was awesome. They waited till I went in. It was almost like the doors open. They said, you go in first. And I went in. I was I remember I had the store to myself for a minute before everyone kind of rushed in. But I remember that. And that was so cool. Impactful. And it kind of sucked that episode 1 sucked. And it's I remember my dad let me cut school to go see it in the morning, the 6 a.m. showing. But the whole Power of the Force 2, episode 1, Power of the Jedi, man, that was the greatest time to be a collector. I know people love the height of collecting now, but for me, that was the origination of collecting. That was where I became a collector, was Power of the Force 2. And I know you talked about it with Ninja, but that was it, for me. So I want to do a whole video about that. But now that we've talked about it, I don't know if that video is relevant now, but yeah, man, listen, that Power of the Force line, Power of the Force 2 still holds up. Power of the Jedi still holds up. Even the episode 1 figures. I saw a guy at the show selling episode 1 figures for $2 a piece. I almost bought a bunch because dude, I remember Qui-Gon came out and I was like, where's the robed Qui-Gon? And then robed Qui-Gon came out with the lightsaber hanging on his hilt. I'm like, holy shit, these figures are evolving. It was really cool.
All right. Headcanon, thank you for the super chat. I wonder how much Hasbro paid for the license for the Gilboa rifle because they are in love with it.
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Sorry, Headcanon. I don't know what that is.
Sorry, bud.
But thanks for the super chat. Curb Stomp, thank you for the super chat. Bobby, you give us an insider view, and that has never been done before, and you tell us the truth. Much respected, sir. Also, what's up, Ryan? Well, what's up,
Thanks,
Curb
man.
Stomp?
Thanks, man. Make sure you tell those haters, gang up on those haters in the comments, because they're just mad. They're just mad. What are you you just hating? Wait, I'm just hating because the neck doesn't look up. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
One guy was like, sorry, your expectations were so high that you were expecting like $100 figure. No. I was expecting a $30 figure because there's plenty of $30 figures that can look up.
Right.
Sorry.
Criticism isn't hate. That's the thing. That's not hate.
Yeah.
You love the property. You love action figures. You want it to be good. When they're not good, you criticize them because you want them to be good. That's not hate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Curb Stomp. Sam Newsman, another one. Thank you, Sam. Haters' tears are delicious, especially in a shot glass.
Right?
Absolutely.
It goes back to like our good friend Michael. He says all the time, collectors are not detail oriented. They're not. It's like you watch the video and instead of like getting the meat of it, you took it as an agenda. You're like, you're such a disgruntled ex-employee. Like, dude, I'm talking about action figures here. Like, I'm talking about an action figure that I paid my money for. It's not like I didn't get it for free. I paid it. And I said I wanted the figure to be awesome. And I was looking forward to the figure being awesome. Like, I was excited about opening up that figure. So much so that I let my YouTube guy film it. And then it wasn't. And I pointed out the things. And it's like, if you're just going to sit there and like accept that just because like you're married to a company that has no idea who you are, like, that's not my problem. That sounds like a you problem. I'm over here with a successful company. You just watched the YouTube channel, so you gave me money. You commented to give me engagement. But at the end of the day, who's the unhappy person? It's you, buddy. It's you. But thanks. I'll just say thanks.
And I will say thanks to Justin Booth. Thank you.
Ooh, thanks,
Bobby. Has Bobby considered acquiring the license to produce Resident Evil action figures? If so, I personally would be one of the first to pre-order them.
Video game licenses are tough. There's a reason why there's not a Resident Evil line out right now. And I think like, so when I worked at Jazzwares, I worked on the Fortnite line at its height. It was crazy what the amount of product they were moving for Fortnite. But then I saw like what Hasbro did with Overwatch and it shit the bed. And now what Jazzwares is doing with Call of Duty. Now, granted, their Call of Duty figures really fucking suck.
Then they did, yeah.
They should have made sure they threw a bunch of money at me to stay. But it's just like the funny thing is like I know for a fact they have a bunch of my figures. Like I gave you the blueprint, man. But like besides Fortnite, I'm trying to think of like other successful video game brands. Now I know you're probably like, oh, Jax is doing a bunch of like Sonic and Mario. It's like, yeah, but look how many are sitting on the shelf right now. It's like when the movie came out, sure, everyone's looking for that Bowser. And then it was like, now that Bowser's everywhere.
Yeah.
So like, there's a reason why there's like, why is there no Tomb Raider action figures? Why are there no Resident Evil action figures? Jazzwares did Halo figures. They weren't that great, so it's just like, for some reason, video game figures can't survive. And I think that has a lot to do, like I was saying about, UFC when I was talking about it. It's just like the UFC fan is not a toy fan. Kind of like the video game fan. Now, granted, there are a lot of collectors that are video game fans, but I think the straight video game fan is not necessarily a toy fan. So I think a lot of these things just don't resonate, but Jade is doing well with the Street Fighter line. Matt, you're definitely right about that. But it's like they're really, really good figures. So it's like, you almost can't deny it because the product is great. So it's like maybe there's a connection. Whereas as long as it's a great product, like, maybe it'll be good. Now, Street Fighter is one of those things where Street Fighter like transcended a lot of video games. Like Street Fighter was nostalgic. You deal with like I said, like Halo, while Halo has a huge following in Fortnite and Resident Evil, I just think like Street Fighter was a whole nother realm. And it is nostalgic. So it's like nostalgic stuff sells really well, but Jada is fucking killing it with that line.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best toy lines out there that's not an import. So, you know, that's again, it's the outlier. I'm not saying all video games. I just think the majority of video games just don't do well and don't resonate because I don't think that the video game fan is necessarily a toy fan.
All righty. Jordan Withington is here. Thanks
This
for the
guy?
member. Yeah, member for 9 months. He says, I can't wait.
Jeez. Can't wait for what?
Terrificon. Or DFW. He can't wait to see me. Yeah.
Jeez.
He can't wait to see me.
Jeez.
Thank you,
I'm
Jordan.
telling you right now, it better not be Terrificon he's looking forward to, because his ass is going to be working while my ass is gambling at Terrificon.
Steph G, thanks for becoming a channel member. Stay tuned for the after show. Holy hell, Ramen Toy with 10 free POA podcast channel memberships. Thank you so much, Ramen Toy. Bender Rodriguez, Sam Newsman, Ricochet Rick, Endless Fables, Mike T, Rob, Dig Dirkler, Louis Strasser, HGC, Shaky Sacks, all channel members. Thanks to Ace from Ramen Toy. Thank you so much, Ace.
Did you say Dirk Diggler?
Dig Dirkler.
Oh.
Yeah, Dig Dirkler. He's been here for a while now. Thank you so much, Ace. Jared with the super chat. Thanks. Coming to DFW on Sunday for the panel. Do you think the exclusive will still be available? Also, what will be at the booth? Series 4?
We're going to have a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it could be crazy and we could be sold out by Saturday. I don't know. It's the first time we're doing DFW. We don't know how many people are coming. It seems like a lot of people are coming. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it is, but we'll see.
All right. And then Hambone, thank you very much for the super chat. A Valaverse, Commando, Spawn, and Al Simmons.
Yeah. I don't know if McFarlane will let somebody do a 6 1/4 inch figure.
He's never let anyone do Spawn except for him.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Thank you, Hambone. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. I'll be back Wednesday. I think I'm going to talk about Savage Crucible and what they've showed this weekend at, I forget what con they're at, but thank you, Tyler, for sending me those pictures. Stay tuned for the after show. Bobby, anything before we're out?
Do you guys want to see the Terrificon exclusive?
Yeah, show it.
No.
Okay. In that case, thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
See ya.